Today's 4 Deep Sports Talk show is supported by PTU Clinic. Visit ptuclinic.com. Adria's Restaurant and Banquet Facility of East Bridgewater. For more information, their website is adriasrestaurant.net. And the Boston Athletic Academy at bostonathleticacademy.org.
Did you help out last year?
No.
No. So I was the first one to rope you in? Mm-hmm. Right?
This is great.
She felt so sorry for me sitting at the table. I was like, yeah, I guess I'll help you. Right?
What else was I going to do?
Right? What else? She didn't want to be home with her brother because her little brother aggravates her. So she called, of course I'm lying about this, I'm stretching truth. So she's talking to me on the phone and I could hear her flipping the coin. So my brother, I goes hang out with Dom and I get to meet Lucy. And I could hear her put the coin down. All right, now I'm on my way. I'm jumping in the car with my mother.
There you go.
What happened?
Right. My story sounded better. I've been known to stretch out stories, right, Lucy?
Right. So we're on for the full hour, no breaks?
We own it, because we already passed the first quarter break.
Yeah.
So,
awesome.
One of the things we like to do here, Haley, is we promoted. You know Noreen who hangs out at the at Adria's. She has a brother that's autistic, right? So we got her on. She has the dance studio of Hanover, right? And maybe you can educate us about the different styles of dance and the stuff you like.
So I do everything: tap, ballet, jazz, and point. And point is basically just ballet, but it's with when you're on your toes. And tap and jazz, I love them too. But ballet is definitely my favorite.
So when do you start dancing?
Start this week on Tuesday.
What age did you start?
Age?
Yeah. You're awfully young, so.
Yeah, this is my 12th year.
Wow.
So maybe when I was 3.
Wow.
2 or 3? Yeah. I've been at the same studio my entire life too.
Nice.
So yeah. I also do a competition team.
Oh, you do?
Started last year, so it's my 2nd year doing that. So I'm excited for that to start up too.
Yeah. And competitions are usually local or
they're usually pretty much local. We're actually going to Disney in March for a show.
That's exciting.
Yeah. They're usually pretty much local. Sometimes they go to New York, sometimes the Cape. Last year there was one in Danvers. That was the farthest that we traveled for comps. But yeah, they're pretty much local.
And what do you do to prepare for those? I can imagine.
Yeah, I have class Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So those days we're practicing those routines, making sure they're perfect and no timing issues and things like that.
And who choreographs all those?
I have 2 choreographers.
Nice.
One of them's Chantel and the other one's Joe. And they both choreograph them. They work really hard. So, yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
And so how many in your group?
In the competition team, there's about, I would say maybe 30 or 40 of us.
Wow, that's huge.
It's pretty big.
Wow.
But I also take other classes that aren't mainly for competition.
Okay.
Fun.
Just
I
for
guess.
fun?
Yeah.
Like?
Yeah. I take, so ballet, tap, and jazz, I take those just for fun. And then classical, which is like the ballet you would see in the Nutcracker.
Okay.
Yeah. Those are just for fun. And then we have our recital at the end of the year in June.
And where is that usually?
East Bridgewater High School.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. So what's your favorite form of dance?
I think my favorite has got to be ballet and point. My close runner-up, though, would be jazz.
Really?
My second favorite, yeah. It's hard to choose. Yeah.
And why is that?
I like faster dances too. That's why jazz is second. And I like the choice of music that they choose for it. So But I do love ballet. I've always loved ballet, so that's my first option.
Must be very, very good at it. Because I can tell you, this girl has the very long legs.
Thank you.
I don't have that.
She must get it from her father.
She must get it from her father? Yeah, her dad is out there playing golf, right?
Yeah. I don't know where he went. But.
Oh. And so, yes, what else besides dance?
That's pretty much it. I work and dance. That's my.
So you're a busser over at Audrey's?
I am, yes.
Nice,
For a
nice.
couple months now.
Good, good. You like it?
Yeah, I do. Keeps me busy.
Good, good.
She gets to put up with people like me.
That's true.
A lot of great people there, right, Tom?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And so what do you do in your spare time? Other than hang out with us now?
I live in a neighborhood with all my friends, so I'm usually with them
Yep.
when I'm not dancing or at work or at school. So
Okay.
that's pretty much.
Ordinary kid.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. Always in East Bridgewater here? It's
Pretty much.
absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
It really is. And just not complaining about the weather or the town. It's just, I had a hard time getting over here. You know, after an hour and a half, it does get a little frustrating. So thank you, Haley and Dom, for getting me here.
I hate getting lost.
Oh,
Explain to the guys on the radio, I'm far away right now.
yeah, so Dom is kind of hooking up, he's in a bunch of chords right now, hooking up what looks like lights and little technical things so we can have a nice smooth broadcast and get some great B-roll. Looks like the catering company is covering the tables, getting ready for to put out their food, and we're expecting all the guys to come in, hopefully within the hour.
Sometime
We'll see.
soon.
Sometime soon, yeah. You know, I'm getting a little hungry. Looks good, Dom.
It's slowly coming back to me.
Yeah, right?
So now I think I like the light like that. I just want to make sure that it's not too much shade, too much overcast, I guess.
Yep.
But we got to fix that other wireless mic that's ticking me off that's not working.
Well, you know, we have these working, which is great, so hopefully when
Absolutely.
someone else comes in, you know, we'll be good.
Right. So I'm going to stop. We're already in the B-roll, so I'm going to stop it. I'm going to try to get us back online if I can. Let's
Okay.
see.
Okay.
Because the output changed.
The what?
No, I have to change the output on the thing, on the... So right
Okay,
now
unplug something?
yeah, but while we're recording, I just didn't have enough power. Like right now, the signal strength to get on the radio is not as bad as it is if you're trying to stream on
Okay.
Facebook. To me, it's a power thing. You know,
Yep.
that's how I look at it. Well, you know me. I try to look at everything. I try to dumbify everything, even at work. You know, everyone tries to get in the technical thing, and you know, what's the barometric pressure, and what this transmitter should be what should be reading. You know, and I'll
These
try to
guys
keep it
look
simple.
like they're wearing the jackets from the Boston Athletic Academy. I don't know if you want to
Do you want to talk to
call
him?
them over. You can
want-
talk to them.
Are you going to talk to Haley while I go talk to him?
Sure.
And then I think what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to switch off. You might have one interview, and I'll have the other interview, and we'll have to do it like that once we start getting our guests on. Hey, do you guys want to come on the radio and talk about? You guys are with the BAA
With the home base program.
home base.
Free mental health for military and their families regardless of discharge status. That's 10 seconds. That's like
Well, so I would, being a disabled vet, I guess I would qualify for something, right?
as long as you raise your right hand, it doesn't matter.
As long as I what?
Raise your right.
I love it. I think we should put them on.
I think we should too. So do you want to do the interview and we'll
No,
switch
you
it up?
can do the interview.
Because
Get
right
them
now-
both on here.
All right, so do you mind if we take off your mic?
Absolutely. We got all 4 mics working, right?
And then what we can do, I got to adjust that. I have to adjust that outlet for that.
He's only been doing it all week, too.
Oh, sorry.
Perfect.
Oh, no, I'm
So we are 4 Deep Sports Talk. We are a high school sports radio show out of Attleboro.
Come on in, take a seat.
Come on in.
Well, we didn't make too much of a mean face at me, so we'll clip on the...
Oh,
His specialty.
really? Okay, let me mic you up. Actually, you know what? Why don't you take mine?
You sure?
You sure?
Yeah,
All right.
absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
And,
And there's our card.
yep, here's us. Here you go, young lady. We'll give that to her.
I'll trade you.
Sounds like a plan. Thank you.
Excellent. Like down here.
So Jessica and Ryan. Yes, sir.
You sure you want to sit in? I got another mic right here.
Sure.
Good, that's all him.
You know, Luce, we gotta check, yeah, we're still on, we're still streaming, we are still recording. Yep, we're still recording on that, so,
We're on the cam.
we're on the cam. Nice to meet you, young man.
Nice to meet you as well.
So you in the service, obviously, right?
Marine Corps,
Marine Corps, how many years?
4 years.
4 years.
4 years, 2 tours.
2 tours. Wow, mine was by sea. I was in the Navy when they liberated Kuwait.
Okay.
That was a long time ago, but
Yeah, my unit was the 1st Battalion 6 Marines. We're on the 22 MEU over to Afghanistan. We were the first ground forces in Afghanistan back in 04.
wow, that must have been crazy. That was. Do you ever hear the Toby Keith song? The Toby Keith song about the Taliban?
Yeah, I think
I love that song. I like jam that in my car.
it got played out pretty well while we're in country. So there was a period of time where I just didn't listen to it because it was just on all the time, no matter where we were.
Right. So you know the beach, you know when it was going to come on and stuff like that. I thought that was. I think that's the coolest song ever to describe what went on. I mean, there's so many other great melodies and stuff like that that you know to try to make you think about it. But so how long have you been involved with home base now?
I've actually been with Home Base working as an employee for over 5 years now.
Nice.
I was a previous patient. Home Base, if you didn't know, free mental health care for military and their families.
Yep.
We first opened our doors back in 2009.
Yep.
And like I said, free mental health care. As long as you raise your right hand, we let anybody can get care from us here at Home Base. Yeah, so I was a previous patient back in the day because I had my own issues coming back from, like I said, back in 2004. I was the initial invasion of Afghanistan and then went to Fallujah in 2005.
Wow.
Right after that. So I had some times I needed some mental health help, and Home Base was the place to be.
Good. That's fantastic. Now, which one are you? They're based all around the state, right?
No, so Home Base, we're currently located at 1 Constitution Wharf. So if you physically walk out of our office door, we're looking at the USS Constitution.
Oh, that's so cool.
So we have, during our 2-week intensive clinical program, we have our patients we have them staying at the Residence Inn Marriott. It's a 4-minute walk to our office.
Yeah.
And then as you're looking at our office, to our left-hand side, you have the USS Constitution.
I apologize. I got to put my phone on vibrate all this
No
time.
worries.
No, that's rude. I apologize for that. It's
That
funny.
mine is. I just check mine as well.
Yeah, your phone must ring a lot.
It does.
So, you know, we're all here for the Boston Athletic Academy. I had the privilege of meeting Manny when I used to, one of our other supporters, Adries, is across the road there, and he was bartending over there, so I got a chance to know him and his dad and stuff like that. So what does it mean for you guys? I mean, you guys do so much for so many important people. What does it mean to jump on something like this and support something like this cause here that they're trying to do for inner city kids?
It's amazing. Manny himself is a great individual. Obviously, I knew him from Boston Red Sox, obviously.
Yep, right.
And my teammate that's here with me, he's been in and around their family for a very, very long time.
Oh, so you know pretty good, Jess?
Yeah.
Jess knows it very well.
My father-in-law's bowling alley.
Oh, why don't you sit down, please? Come on, see, I roped you in good on that one. See that? That worked out pretty good. You know what
It
stinks?
was a tag team. It was like, kind of set it up for
You
it.
know what's so funny? I can brag about what I love to do with the kids and all that, what we do with them, because we basically, I don't know if Lucy told you, but what we do here, along with WARA out of Attleboro, we're a 501(c)(3) CSL, so we try to bring in all the new coaches, all the kids that get no publicity, because you know in our state, unless you make it to the finals, no one cares about how you did in the rate. Well, we do. We thought it's pretty cool to get them in and talk about, especially kids that are going through like certain problems, like still trying to make the teams. Like a friend of ours told us about this some kid in Quincy. She has a blood clot and she's trying to stay on the volleyball. That's pretty cool to try to do something like that. Just to mention all these mention all these other schools that don't really get any recognition. So we do it on Saturday, we tape it, we edit it, and we send it to the local access towns for Access TV. And so that's basically our deal. But yeah, again, you guys have been doing such a great job, and I hope I didn't cut you off. You were before about you. So you know me, Jess. You know Manny, correct?
Yeah, my father-in-law owns Ron's Gourmet Ice Cream in Hyde Park, and he grew up there bowling, him and Jose, and there's been a few times he's come into the Red Sox box when we bring vets and their families up there to kind of, give back a little bit, and he's hosted a few events for us in the past to try to bring kids and veterans and everyone together and just kind of, let everyone know that all these different resources are available and out there, and what it's like for organizations to work together to support each other.
Right, that's cool. So next time you guys see Manny, and it's a real, it's not a tense, but if you want to like break the ice and say, hey, some guy on the sports show said you're the second best Mexican bartender he ever saw. He hears it all the time. But now he's not there to pick it anymore, so I missed him. I was so fun. My brother, long story short, would be at the bar, and me and Manny used to go back and forth. He's like, you guys act like you're related. You know what I mean? That's why we used to go at. I'll never admit this in court, but he did chase me out of the bar one time. And I wasn't even drunk. I was just kept on picking on. I caught him like in the mood because he was like all cut up at work and doing everything. Oh, it was hysterical.
No, he's a great guy. I mean, like Jess mentioned that was it 2 years ago, pre-COVID. That's kind of the standard now.
Yeah.
Pre-COVID, we were at Ron's place bowling, and I got two daughters, 5 and 3, Everly and Charlotte, and still to this day, she talks about it 2 years later because Mandy saw that she was a little timid and got out there, and she still talks about it to this day, the fact that he took time, being a popular man himself, came out and just took the time to help her, just throw some balls down the lane and stuff like
Isn't
that.
that so cool?
Yeah, she didn't like Wally too much at first.
It's because Wally was stealing all the candy. Let's be real.
So she wasn't too thrilled with it, but Manny made it a point to come. He didn't have to, but on his own volition, came over and just hung out with us.
That's awesome.
And then helped my daughter out, and still, my daughter made the news that night, in the background.
Oh, that's so cool.
She was super psyched, and it was a great event because he really wanted to give back to the military community and the veteran community. So he was out there, and just through this between him and Ron, just threw an awesome event for us. So anytime Manny's like, hey, we're doing an event, home base is like, hey, you want us there, we'll come out and we'll support you as well. So we can't thank him enough for what he's doing.
Oh, that's so cool. Now, it's funny. I sit there and I pick on him, and probably Haley, when she first started, she used to saw how we used to always interact. But for a ball player to reach the pinnacle, there's nothing after winning a World Series. Right, it's just the ring, and he has two of them. One is a broadcaster, and to be so humble, he has such a good upbringing. I actually met his father. I actually got his father an umpiring, but he lives out in Dedham, but he didn't want to go to Taunton.
It's a big drive.
It's a big drive, especially with the traffic on 24. It goes to 2 lanes. But just to be down to earth, you know what I mean? Just to be like a regular, because you always hear horror stories. I remember one time, my father, God rest his soul, he used to talk about he was on a plane. There's Troy O'Leary. I used to love Troy O'Leary. He played for the Red Sox. And he had a little, I don't know if it was more of a defense mechanism, because people would know who he is, and he wasn't an ordinary Joe. He's probably the cleanest way to say it without picking on the guy, because he's not here to defend himself. But for Manny to be like that, and, of course, we all know Jose runs a lot of this operation, and Manny helps out as much as he can. And just for them to, again, for me to be so humble, doing something like that, and remembering you guys, and, remember what I do here. We had him at the station a couple times, and I remember the first time I was in the Boston Athletic Academy, and I was like, the what? And I was like, no, I want these kids to hear about how you made it, how you started in the pro, how you started in high school, because that's what our show's about. And what it took for you to do that, and you kept on mentioning the Boston Athletic Academy. I remember saying to myself, this kid ain't going to shut up. All he's going to mention, so what about the Boston Athletic Academy?
I'll ask him.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So that's how, that's a little history about him and I. But now, Jess, how long have you been with the home base?
About 3 years.
3 years? Now, what's your background in?
I was a Navy corpsman in the military.
Nice.
Did 7 years.
Nice. Same, it's another Navy person.
Yeah.
Right?
He likes me though because I was a corpsman.
Yeah, we're common.
So
Oh, yeah.
it's all right.
It's only part of the Navy I really like.
Well, they used to always say the Marines. I was watching the movie with Demi Moore and Tom Cruise, A Few Good Men.
Few Good Men, yeah.
Right? And I forget the name of it. Was it Keith Sutherland? He says, and he was playing some Southern Marine, that was stationed in the same base with. Yeah, we like you Navy guys. You guys drive us around or something like that.
Well, now it's the modern days, they're the world's best Uber.
Yeah, right. Yeah, no kidding. No kidding.
Or water taxi, depending on.
Yeah, water taxi, exactly. They drop you off and then you take your water taxi at the beach.
Oh, yeah.
Now, so did you go to school? Or did you get any college once you got out? Or
Yeah, so I have a huge background.
that's all right.
I've done a lot.
Comfortable.
No, I've done a lot in my short time here on planet Earth, if you will. No, after I graduated high school in '96, I was a youth pastor for quite some time, and then I went to Bible college, got a degree in biblical studies and youth ministry. So I've always been in a life of service in some way, shape, or form.
Good for you.
Traveled the country teaching gymnastics and martial arts and stuff like that. So getting in front of a camera, talking to people, I've been on crowds of like 15,000 people. So this is easy. And then I didn't join. That's why I didn't join the Marines until I was 24.
Oh, wow.
I got in late, well, not late, but I got on the right time, I believe, and then it was just a lot of seeing a lot of young men come out of high school coming in. So I already had about 4 or 5 years on everybody that came in.
True.
But yeah, so after I got out of the Marine Corps back in November 2006, I took some time off. Actually, I got a job right away working in a private security company where I met my wife, which is a great thing. She still thinks she's the boss because she was the director of the company and I was a manager. So we just keep that going. And then I ended up leaving my job about a year later because my injuries, I collapsed at work. Nothing bad, just I lost feeling in my legs for a few minutes. So the doctor's like, hey, time for you to quit. You can't be on your feet 10, 12 hours.
Oh, use your circulation or something like that?
No, I've got cervical spine damage, lumbar spine damage, just damage head to toe. And then
From being in combat?
yeah. I'm 100% permanent and total disabled veteran.
Oh, wow. Well, you couldn't tell.
I know it's a lot of makeup, a lot of beard, but no, and that's part of my thing is like, hey, the disability isn't just like I always tell men and women I serve with, I'm like, before we joined the military, we could run a marathon, and you really enjoy running that marathon, but you come back and you realize that, hey, some of the stuff that we went through, we can't do that as much anymore.
Yeah.
We can still find enjoyment in doing the little things like run a 5K, run a 9K, walk a 5K, whatever that may be, just kind of like just that mental downshift. And just finding other ways to get that enjoyment doing things. Now I tell people the only way, I only run 3 different times because we have the run to home base coming up.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
On the 25th, so when I'm talking about run to home base, I'm like, hey, I run 3 different times. I run to the bathroom, I run to the refrigerator, and I run if I'm being chased, and 4th, like today, I'm on my motorcycle doing a motorcycle run.
Nice.
Those are only 4 times I run, so, but yeah, so after I got out, and I kind of was down and out for a while, and then ended up getting long story short, my dad came up to me one day because my mom was just like, either he's leaving the house or I'm leaving the house, because I was in a bad spot. Had anger issues, I had depression, anxiety, pretty much everything they can within PTS and stuff like that. So my dad's like, hey, you have a month to get out and find a job and find your own place. So I moved as far away as I physically can. There's a whole 1.5 miles down the road. Still needed mom to do laundry, so shortly after I got the job, I was working at South Shore Hospital in the emergency room, and then on a whim, I applied to UMass Boston, and then for the next 5 years, I was a double undergrad, working full-time, got my degree in psychology and sociology, started master's programming, but I got my dream job exiting UMass Boston, working for Wounded Warrior Project.
Oh, nice. Good.
Where I was doing therapeutic retreats with men and women all across from Bangor, Maine, all the way up to Seattle, Washington, to Germany, backpacking, fishing, whitewater rafting.
Oh, wow.
And then that's, like I said, I've been working with home base program since they opened their doors in one way or another as a patient. And then when I was working with Wounded Warrior Project, I was doing a lot of collaborating with home base because Wounded Warrior Project does a holistic approach and they provide a lot of activities, but they don't do clinical care.
Yeah.
So I was like, hey, any of our men and women that came through my program, like, hey, I just need a little bit more help. So I was like, hey, home base is the place to go. So we were able to come into the home base program. And then like I said, 5 years ago, working with a home-based program. I'm like, hey, if you guys are hiring, I'll come work for you.
Yeah.
Well, wife and I just had a baby, and I was.
Congratulations.
Oh, at that time it was. Oh, okay. No, not now.
She's 5 now.
Soon to be 6, but I was like with the Warrior Project. There was a lot of travel, and I was traveling pretty much half the year.
Oh, yeah.
And I was just like, he's like, hey, we're doing 10. You have to do 10 weekends a month. I'm like, all right, that's great. I can do 10 weekends a month. And then home base went from 10 weekends a month to 12 to 18 to 26. Now we're operating with our 2-week program 42 out of the 52 weeks a year.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, all right. So it's just been kind of a blast since then, being able to come out, and part of our Jess's and I's job. Did I sound all right? Yeah, we'll go with that. Part of
Sounded perfect.
Sounded perfect. We're on the veteran outreach team, so what we do, we have 3 different parts to our job. One is, like I said, the 2-week intensive clinical program. They get 2 years worth of therapy in the 2 weeks that they're there.
Yep.
During that time that they're there, us as the outreach coordinators, we're there as peer support. So a lot of times the men and women don't want to, they're tired of talking to clinicians and social workers all day, so they'll come and find us and be able to sit down and just have,
A real conversation.
A real conversation, That's colorful language, whatever, to a point, keeping it clean and stuff like that. But
Sure.
then part of our other job is we go out into the community and educate people on what home base provides for everybody.
Nice.
Not just the person that served, but the family served, because they served while their loved one was in service as well.
Yeah.
So it's a whole holistic approach to it. A whole circling approach to it. So like we said, we have that 2-week program. We also have outpatient program where men and women are able to come in and find that help, not just the military person, but their support. And support looks like anything. Could be your next door neighbor, it could be your friend, the guy that you buy coffee from, or your family. It just depends on whatever the military person considers support. We also have adventure series, kind of like bringing it back to Manny with the BAA. We have these programs where we offer like 1 to 2 times a month or more, depending on time of year.
Yep.
We provide these activities. They just have to get to it, and it's free of charge for them. They just show up. It could be pizza. It could be ball games, it could be hockey, it could be skiing and snowboarding.
Right.
They just have to get to the destination, and we take care of everything else, so it's completely free of charge to everybody. And then part of our other thing is that we all have what we call lines of effort, where we go to colleges and universities, we go to military installations, anywhere we can find military and their family, we go out to and just let them know, like, hey, we're here, we can help. Then just let them make the decision for that from there.
That's really cool. That is really cool.
And then the other part of our job is we break down any barrier for that individual to come into care. Meaning that if, like I said, with that 2-week intensive clinical program, we have 24 patients at a time, and we will physically get them from anywhere in the world into Boston for the 2 weeks. We film people from Okinawa, Germany, South America, South Africa, at no cost to them. They just have to get to the airport, the train, the bus. We'll Uber people. We actually work with the Mass State Police. The retired state police officers will actually go to the individual's home in a vehicle, not the lights on. We always joke, police escort. Police escort, but not that type. But we tell guys, we're like, hey, for the first time, you actually get to sit in the front seat. Just trying to keep it lively, but we do everything we can. Then that was pre-COVID, and even during COVID, and right now, if you live in Massachusetts, you get virtual care, so you don't even have to come in.
That is really cool.
So you're able to do it as long as you have the technology to do that. You get an evaluation, then you get set up with a clinician and a social worker, case manager, and then they're able to come into our program. But we also have health and fitness, where we have a plethora of staff, from PT to occupational therapy. So we have strength and conditioning coaches, we have nutritionists, dietitians, we have everybody at the beck and call of that individual, not just for the military person, but for their family as well.
Wow, that's so cool.
So there's literally, they say barriers, we call them excuses. So they're like, but I can't get there. Like, oh, well, someone pick you up. Like, I don't want to get drought. I don't want to state police to pick us up. Fine, we'll get Uber. I don't like Uber. Fine, we have Lyft. Fine, get in a taxi.
Yeah, there's no excuse.
There's no excuse. And so, like, talking veteran, when that person makes the phone, when that individual makes the phone call into home base, they're talking to one of the veterans on our team, we have active duty people on our team as well. We're like, that's good. So, like, we're able to kind of, have the real talk with them. Like, hey, stop
Been there, done that.
Been there, done that. Let's go, get them in. And we've worked with people for, anywhere from 2 weeks to 2 years to get them into our programming.
That's so cool.
And once they get in the front doors, during that intensive clinical program that we have, even more recently, we just graduated a class almost, a week and a half ago? A week ago.
Mm-hmm.
Usually, the Wednesday before Friday of graduation, they're like, can't this be longer? Like, I'm like, that's not what you said 2 weeks ago when you first got here. You're like, I can't do it. I'm like, no, you can. You know, that's what we're there for, is to encourage them and really help them get through their times as well. Because they bring all their baggage with them. Not baggage, but sorry, wrong words. But they bring their traumas with them, and they talk to us, and they share it with us. And so we just try to help them relate. And like, hey, man, like, the strongest thing you could possibly do is reach out for help, and you've done that.
Yeah,
Now
that's so
let's get you through
cool.
that.
That's funny you said about the 5K and the 7K you run. I can drive 5K and 7K. I can't run.
Yeah, I can do the same thing. I'm like, hop on the back of my motorcycle. I'm like, I'll be behind you, beeping the horn, push you, whatever I have to do to get you on there. I'm like, let's go.
That's awesome. That's so cool.
Yeah, the cool thing. How are we funded?
Yeah.
So we started,
It's not,
way back when we started, it was actually Manny was on the team.
Yeah.
When they won the World Series, they went down and visited Walter Reed, the whole team.
Oh, wow, that's so
When they,
cool.
so they normally go for a few minutes, walk through, and then keep going, right, till all the other things are scheduled. Instead, they spent like the day there, or they spent all the time talking to the troops that were there, recovering, and when they came back to Boston, they
they
sat
pretty
down.
much had to kick him out of Walter Reed. 'Cause
Yes.
I wanted to stay there for the day.
That's so cool.
When they came back, they realized that they really needed to do something to help veterans.
Yeah.
And they work with Mass General Hospital, and so they sat down with the president of the hospital and talked about what can we do for veterans. From that, the Red Sox Foundation and Mass General Hospital created Home Base.
Oh,
so we are
okay.
a combination of the two of them.
Right.
They gave us 5 years to become self-sufficient.
Yep.
Right. So they gave us a startup, got that part going. Initially, we were just outpatient clinic.
Yep.
Over time, we grew. We partnered with Wounded Warrior Project, we're part of their Warrior Care Network for our 2-week intensive program, so they fund a good portion of that.
Yep.
Recently, about 2.5 years ago, we partnered with the Navy SEAL Legacy Foundation to do a TBI combat program for our Navy SEAL and SWCC. Green Berets have now joined on with that, so we're bringing in our special forces to do traumatic brain injury workups and evaluations, along with anyone else that served that may have suffered from a traumatic brain injury.
Yes.
So there's funding and grants through that. We get grants through the state for working with the Suicide Prevention Initiative for the state of Massachusetts, and then a lot of it's our fundraising. That outreach part that Ryan was talking about, we're out in the community, we're talking to different people, we're looking for
That's
fundraising
cool.
opportunities. We do a mission gratitude event every year for our major donors. It's just normally like a gala type thing. Last year, 2 years ago.
2 years
2 years
ago.
ago now because of COVID. It was actually in London because we partnered with Walking
wow.
with the Wounded
Yeah.
over there.
And the Royal Foundation, Invictus Games. Pretty much numbers-wise, we're about 80 to 90% philanthropic, and then we do have a lot of grants from different departments within the state. The Attorney General's office gave us a chunk of money to educate the first responders out there. So we have on our website you can actually go into,
Yeah.
and actually any person can go on there, and there's over 30 hours of CEUs, so a lot of men and women that are first responders, et cetera, can get their credits for the year, like the CEUs for the year. And a lot of it too is just mom and dad and grandma and grandpa and everything like that. That I remember a couple times, like we'll get the checks into our office by accident because they just can't remember which address to send it to, and you can tell it's like a very elderly woman writing it because it's, you see the handwriting, and it's just like, a check for like $6, and we're like, every little bit counts.
Absolutely.
So, like Jess said, our 3 biggest fundraisers are Run to Home Base, which is coming up on the 25th, and then on Veterans Day we host a telethon with Channel 5. Last year they ran it all day. Like they ran it throughout the day. They just ran commercials like every so often throughout the hours, from like 8 in the morning till 8 at night, I believe. And then we have, like Jess said, we have the Home Base gala, the gala for our bigger bigger funders. There we go.
That's all right.
A lot of words all at once.
You'll never win the trophy. I got the trophy bashful in the English language.
No, not at all. Yeah, but like Jess said, the one big thing that Jess did mention is that we do workups with traumatic brain injury. We do have a 5-day program, which could be up to hundreds of $1,000s workup for those men and women that are actually getting out of the special forces and stuff like that. And it's a full 5 days, PET scans, CT scans, MRIs, from head to toe, and then as they're leaving, at no cost to them, they come up and we get them Ubered everywhere, and we actually, sleep studies, physical therapy, and we give them their entire medical record. So when they go back, they have a couple choices. They can go back to their home of record and get the care that they need there, or they can come back through our 2-week program, because we do treat post-traumatic stress, military sexual trauma, traumatic brain injury. It's like everybody comes together, and like throughout the day, you may have, may go for a cognitive screening, or you may go in for something for PTS. We do sleep studies, and like I honestly, I personally benefited from that because I have a TBI, which I remind the team constantly. I always get that look. But like I said, when I was in college, I was having issues with memory and stuff and sleep, and working with home base, and they help, because we have a really great relationship with the VA here in Boston, and they're like, hey, you know what, let's get you a sleep study. Found out that I had sleep apnea, and then I was having trouble in college with recall and just remembering things, so they sent me in for like speech therapy, which teaches you how to think, your mom and dad and grandparents always say, think before you speak.
Yeah.
So go in there and have that get done. So they wrote up a letter, and I just took it to the office at the college and made accommodations for me to be able to get through college effectively. I graduated, so and home base does a really good job. And we're not siloed. That's what I was trying to get at. We're not siloed, meaning we don't hold on to all that information. With the Warrior Care Network, there's 3 other hospitals that we work with: Rush out in Chicago, UCLA out in LA, and then Emory down in Georgia. And we're all research hospitals, so we share all our information because we're trying to help the nation's finest get into a better place physically and mentally, spiritually, just get to where they need to do. And we work with those community base out there. And so a lot of times when we're coming out, working with different individuals and stuff like that, just all about spreading word. A lot of it is our men and women that come through our programs go back to their home state or their town here in Mass, whatnot, and they're like, hey, if he can do it, I can do it. And one story, we had one person come out of Oklahoma or whatnot, I can't remember what state it was, but that individual went back and talked about it, and because that individual talked about it, we had 16 more individuals come through our program just because of that one person. Made a huge,
wow.
Because the programming, the clinicians, the social workers, the team that we have at our office care so much, and they effectively treat our patients. And the cool thing about it is that the national average right now for completion rate is only 40 to 50%. Home base has a 95 completion rate from start to finish with the programming.
Okay.
And then it's coming on day 1 and leaving on day 12 or 13, there's an 85% reduction of post-traumatic stress symptomology. So that means if they're coming in at level 9, they're leaving at level 2 or 1.
All right, I got to do one more quick thing.
Yes, please.
So we're going to stay on for one more hour. Jim Jones will let us stay on for another hour, so I just have to do the caller ID. You are listening to WARA 1320 AM, Attleboro. All right, so now we're on for another hour. I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry.
You're doing your job.
Well, see, it's funny.
You said you have to tell me to stop talking.
No, that's fine. So I'm looking at the stream, and we got a little delay in the stream. That's our link going back to the server at the station. So I just realized it's 1:02, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm late. They're going to kick us off. And he said, no, that's fine, Dom, because it's remotely, so he can shut it off once I tell him we're done. Okay. I was hoping, but please continue on. He's like, where did I leave off before he cut me off?
That part about the TBI.
Oh, the TBI. So, thank you, Jess. So it's just the fact that home base offers. We're not the only answer. We're one of the best answers out there. We're the #1 privatized healthcare, and I can proudly say in the world, because we work with so many individuals. We hire the best staff we can possibly get, and the staff that we hire generally care. The veteran outreach team, we all have to be either a veteran, actively serving, or retired. So we have to have that connection. And it's all about, if you want to talk with sports with somebody, right? You want that other individual to be able to hang with you, be able to speak the same language. You're like, oh, he scored a goal. It's like, would he kick it through the, through the home?
Yeah, right.
You just want to make sure.
Yeah.
And so that's the whole thing. And a lot of times, so when the individual is looking for coming into care, the first person they're talking to is another veteran. So it breaks down those barriers so they at least know that the person that they're talking to has an idea of what they went through or where they were at, or at least that they served. It doesn't matter if they're Marine Corps, Army, or Navy, but it just makes it that much, easier when you're talking to somebody that has that connection,
Right.
and just proud of the fact that they served, and that's like our biggest thing right now. Today being 9/11 and 20-year anniversary and stuff like that. You just everybody, my phone's been going off all morning. Just our team just keeps on checking in with everybody that's going on, because a lot of our team is out here right now, not just here but all around the state doing different things, helping out the community and stuff like that. But our team cares about each other. We're making sure we're checking in. Just lots going on, and this is the time that we need to let people know that we're out there to help.
Now, I'll throw a curve at you for a second. Being
Try
a
it.
sports guy that I am. No, it's off topic. A little bit.
Oh, boy.
So,
I've hit a palm ball off of Bob Stanley.
have you really?
Yes, I have. That was the weirdest pitch I've ever seen come in, by the way.
So me being the history buff that I am, I love history. Loved history in school. That's the only thing. That and gym is the only thing I actually scored higher than an 80 on.
Doesn't gym pass fail?
Depending on what high school you're in. So, one of the best things going on right now in society is that we're not forgetting about 9/11, right? There's no way you can. But I think some of the things that we still forget about are the people that served, like when, they made a movie about like all those people who died at Pearl Harbor. But that's their generation, more or less, that they didn't forget it. I think they were expecting us. Because our generation here is more animate about don't forget what happened in 9/11. And the only reason, people wouldn't forget history. Maybe we wouldn't know December 7th, 1941, but it just gets me a little bit like, why don't we remember that too, except when the date comes up? You know what I mean? I don't know if you have any thoughts on that, or, it's more like we care about our generation, because this is our generation when this happened. But back then, people forget, like, Normandy, all those people that, to liberate freedom. Otherwise, God forbid, we could be speaking German and Japanese right now. You know what I mean? And I don't know. I don't know if it was at their generation, or, just the way it was. You know what I mean?
No, it's a good question, too. And that, I think with the amount of technology and the amount of resources that we have today, I don't think it's possible to ever forget what's happened. And bring it just for home base for 1 second. Back at the 50th anniversary of the Vietnam War, we had the largest welcome home celebration for the Vietnam veterans.
That's cool.
At Fenway Park. We had close to 1,500 men and women and their families out on Fenway Park right before the Sox game.
That's so cool.
And that was the biggest recognition. I get goosebumps just talking about it, because it was really powerful and it was just really amazing. And that's the cool thing about the home base. We take anybody's. Like I said, as long as you raise your right hand. We had a gentleman come in 3 or 4 years ago, and he was one of the original UDT frogmen.
Really?
Right before they became the SEALs, and that was the first therapy he's ever had. And he was 73, came through our program, and he liked it so much that he actually talked to his daughter, who was a Marine Corps captain that came through.
Yep.
And then she came through like 3 or 4 months later.
Oh, wow, that's so cool.
And it's not so much, I think it's our generation and even young, and the funny thing, not funny, just the odd fact that a lot of the men and women that have served, their children that are coming in post 9/11, post 9/11, 2001, that are coming through our program that are like 18, 19. It's just how long this war's gone on, and it's our duty as veterans, doesn't matter what branch, is to pass that torch and to be like, hey, recognize the fact, like. I was vacationing the other weekend up in Old Orchard Beach, and I was walking out of the pool, and I saw a gentleman who had a Vietnam cap on, and I just walked right up to him. I'm like, hey, sir, I just want to thank you. I'm like, I know you didn't get it when you came home, but I want to thank you for your service, and I'm a Marine Corps veteran myself. He's just like, Army. I'm like, that's okay, I'll still talk to you.
Say something.
But it's like, I've, trying to instill in my young children, my 2 girls, it's like, hey, if you see a veteran, or if you see someone wearing, a cap that has whatever branch on there, just go up there and say thank you.
Right.
You know, just to, you know, let them know. We were actually just talking about before we jumped on with you, just, you know, trying to get my girls to understand the importance of the American flag and everything that we serve under, and the fact that it's the generations before us that got us to where we are today. And I don't think people haven't forgot. I just think, or are forgetting, but I just think it's important for us. You can disagree if you want anytime, yes, or agree. That's fine. Just making sure you're still here.
Oh, I can tell, trust me.
Be able to be like, hey, you know what, just, you know, why we fly the American flag outside our house, why I have it on the back of my motorcycle or my truck, or it doesn't matter, you know, where it's at, but just be proud of the fact that you're an American, the fact that even today it was just weird, you know, watching my girls playing, you know, doing, I call it shin kickers and bunch ball.
What's that, soccer?
Soccer. 3-year-old and a 5-year-old with a ball looks like twice the size it actually is, but the fact that it being the anniversary today, and I'm like, it's kind of took a moment to like, what we did, what the generations before we did, are allowing our children to do what they're doing right now.
Right. I think this generation is one setting the pace for our kids, and I wish they did it back then. It is what it is. I mean, they had their reasons. Maybe they were expecting us the way we were raised to automatically pay attention and follow it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
I mean, like, so she'll be 6 in November, but every day driving her to school,
yeah.
I play the Marine Corps hymn.
Oh, you do?
And my 3-year-old.
Really?
And like, I'll get in the car and I'll you know, pulling out of the driveway. It's like, turn the song on. I'm like, okay.
Oh, that's so cool.
And it's like Hazem Montezuma is right on. You know, it's a modern version and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like, they sing it, and like every night, you know, we sing a bunch of songs, and I know it's a cult. I get it. We say it's like Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, and then Semper Fi, right in the then like right in the Marine Corps hymn, right, and it's. I'd do it if I was, well, maybe not in the Army, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, right, exactly.
But it's just, you know, instilling that, and, you know, just the family that support behind us. And like I said, there's so much technology out there, all the social media platforms, good and bad. Just bringing light, you know, just bringing the information to the people where it's at, and just being proud to be an American and proud to have served.
Absolutely. I totally agree. So, Jess, what ship did you serve on?
I did not.
Oh, wow, you got lucky. Did you just do one tour?
I did 7 years.
Oh, you did 7 years.
I did, yes.
And you were stationed where?
Italy,
Oh, you were part of Italy.
Naples.
Naples. I was stationed on the USS Orion in La Maddalena, Sardinia, Italy. So I was there when they blew up the USO. When they pulled in, they blew up the USO. What year were you in?
I joined in 97.
Yeah, we were about. I got out in 95, and they blew the USO up in 87. Thank God nobody got killed. That's when Italy's been known for more of a. They have so many different groups over there. Socialism, you know what I mean. And that was my culture shock, being on duty and watching the military police. They call them. It was the Carabinieri.
Carabinieri,
Right?
yeah.
They come with their submachine guns, and all the drunk sailors would go, oh, look at it, oh, they must be setting off fireworks. And they'd cock their guns back, get to your boats right now. I was like, what did he say?
We stopped.
Still like that.
Yeah, I would say back when we stopped in Malta back in 04, they weren't thrilled that we were pulling in. Like, you know, up to like, what, 1,200 Marines.
Oh, yeah. But that builds the economy. That's what they forget.
I know, my dad warned me. He's just like, by the way, I don't know what you're doing over there, but you just blew through about $1,400 in 2 days. I'm like, oh, I know.
Yeah, that helps out the economy.
Oh, yeah.
You know? Maybe they're afraid you're going to pick up all the Italian women and take them back to America or something. You just don't know. Why would they not want to be? I mean, you know, I'm Italian, right?
Okay.
And how many times did you see the first they were with the Germans, and then, I mean, I'm getting more of a history level on a sports show here now. That's all right.
They play football. It's okay.
That's right. They play football. And then when the Germans left, they switched sides and went with the Allies. And another funny note, I think you mentioned the show, it made me think of my ex-wife's grandfather. He was in Patton's Third Army.
Wow. And
he was in a POW camp twice and escaped twice. And every time I used to ask him about that, he used to joke about it. Oh, yeah, I didn't even know we left. Like, what do you mean? So at night, we just went on the gate, went in the woods. No one looked for us. Really? He said, yeah. I said, did it twice. And then what happened? Then we met up with the Third Army, went back to fighting. I said, wow. And he was just so humble about it.
Yeah.
And I said to myself, and then he got shot, right? So he was decorated, Purple Heart, 2 of them. And I said, how the heck? He said, once you see that stuff, after a while, you just go with it. You know what I mean? And I said, oh my God, talking about having a strong mindset. I don't know if I could deal with that.
Yeah, well, you got a long time to deal with it. And
Yeah, exactly.
that's the thing about like post-traumatic stress and stuff like that. You don't know when it's going to creep up on you.
Oh my God.
It could be anything. Could be a smell, could be a sight, could be a sound, could be just a song.
Yeah, something you see, I had another buddy that was in the Vietnam War, you mentioned that earlier. Mosquitoes. If he saw a fly, a dragonfly, because he was in what they call it, the bush or whatever, he would freak out. He'd get the twitches, he'd be like, but everything else, he's a normal Joe, busting around telling jokes and stuff like that. But if he saw mosquitoes and stuff, he'd get the twitches.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of like black flies.
Right, I bet, right?
Nope. That was just being in Fallujah and stuff like that, just flies everywhere.
Right.
It was just, I don't care for them anymore.
So now I got off track. So you were in Naples.
Yes.
Right? And I'm trying to remember what that was, the Sixth Fleet, right?
Sixth Fleet.
Yeah, Sixth
Yep.
Fleet. And the Belknap was the admiral ship, right? Out of Gaeta. Is that right? I think it was Gaeta. This is all off memory. This ain't bad for me.
I'm trying to think what was there when I was there. That's not what was there when I was stationed there.
No, but I was back. I went out in 95. I left Italy in 92 to come to the States. And what do? They sent us over the Persian Gulf. They sent us over that way, It was crazy. But, you ever been to I remember the first time I went over there. You ever been to the Med? You ever been to the Med? Like, I lived in the Med for 3 years. And then my orders just sent me, they sent me to Newport, Rhode Island.
That's classy.
Right. So then I was on a destroyer, a destroyer, or fast frigate they called them, and then we went across the Atlantic. You don't know what you don't like. I lived there I know where Naples is. I know where Rota, Spain is. I've been to Greece.
I've been to Rota.
Right? All that stuff. And then there was another island, Almeria, Spain, which is an island off of Rota, Spain. And it was the biggest dive you'd ever want to. Oh my God. You know what I mean? Poverty was bad, so they'd always tell you, make sure you go in groups, don't go by yourself. And if you go by yourself, you should run back to the ship, run back to the pier, stuff like that. But it is what it is. I guess we all have. I mean, I couldn't fathom going through what you went through. And thank God,
Yeah, no, and that's the thing too. Like the last couple of weeks, obviously, just with everything going on. Like I said, I've been working with different groups all over the country, and just being able to talk to people about it. And I'm about two things. I'm like, hey, if people don't ask questions, we don't have answers. We can't get resolution. Right? And so I'm like, hey, I tell people, ask me whatever you want. I'll choose whatever question I choose to answer is what I choose to answer. And I go, I'm not being rude. It's just because a lot of people ask me like, just bonehead questions, I'll call it, and I'm like, you don't want to know that answer. Like, I appreciate the fact you're asking that and that you're showing interest, but like, you don't want that answer right now. But even dealing with like the more recent events and stuff like that, talking to a host, I had to talk to a technology firm a couple weeks ago, and I had, like I said, part of my story, I mentioned that I have a TBI and stuff, and one of the gentlemen's like, do you even remember what you did over there? I'm like, yeah, I remember a lot of good chunks of it, but back in April, I had a reunion with my unit in the Marine Corps, and it was like a 96. It was literally like we got down on Thursday, left on Sunday, so it was a quick turnaround. But I'm like, there's 25, 30 of us in there just talking, and 98% of the time we're just laughing and joking and just having a good time and just sharing the silly stuff that we did over there, right?
Yeah.
And the only time we kind of got a little bit solemn, if you will, is when we toasted to the men that we lost.
Yeah,
and it was just
must be tough.
it was just a brief toast, and we're like, all right, raised our glasses, had our drink, and then we're like, right back into the funny stuff. And so, like, even talking to men and women that I run into that served, I'm like, we could sit here and live in the darkness and just live in all the stuff, the not so great stuff that we were part of over there and whatnot, what we experienced, or we can just sit there and laugh about the silly things that we went out there. I'm like,
True.
The fact that, like, when I was in Afghanistan, we had a wild herd of donkey running through our site. So we're like,
that's a culture shock. I mean,
yeah, we're just literally like a herd of donkeys. You can hear them baying from like miles out and everything like that, and we're like, try to catch one.
Really?
Yeah, we caught one. And then we tried riding it.
Did you put money on the table? Who should catch it? That would be bad.
And we tried to convince one of our not so smart Marines that a cow was a donkey. He said, "Come here, cow," and he started. You're not going to catch You're not going to catch it. But that's what it just kind of like the mantra it's been for at least a lot of us on our team and just the men and women that we served with. It's just like try to find the humor in it. Whatever humor it is, and just go with that because. You don't want to go back to that dark place. It's just, it's not a healthy way to live. Find healthy outlets. Go golfing. Go take a ride motorcycle. Go kick a soccer ball. Like do anything that's going to take, bring you back to that better place that you were. And that's just how a lot of us are getting through today, to be honest. But it's a good. everybody finds their way, and then, I just tell you have men and women on your left and right, just reach out, call them, or check on your friends. That's what a lot of us are doing.
So how does a job placement go for people? I mean, you get so many different categories you guys cover, not just health, and which is ultimately important. You want everyone to, recover after seeing what they saw and doing what they did, because no human being should be doing that at all, But sometimes it happens. You have to defend your freedom.
Yeah.
There are stupid people in the world that think they're better than everybody else, and the street way to say it, you got to smack them down to reality and realize, and stuff like, you guys know where I'm going with that, but.
Yeah.
But as far as job placement goes, how do you guys, we really didn't touch on that. We touched on the important stuff, but I thought it'd be pretty cool to touch on stuff like that. Maybe they don't know, they might be listening, believe it or not.
Yeah, no, they're, the only thing that I'm the expert at is myself, right?
Yep.
So I was a tow gunner, so I could take out any armored threat in the entire world. I could not find a job application that had that as a requirement.
Right.
In the civilian world, right? So there's a lot of organizations out there, the Semper Fi America's Fund, Wounded Warrior Project, there's a host, any VSO, veteran service organization that you can look up. Even Google has it. You can actually type in your military occupational specialty, or MOS.
Yep.
And a lot of that, a lot of companies right now and firms are trying to figure out, like, job translation skills, right?
Okay.
So like E5 and above, project management, because you would have at least 10, 12, 20 people underneath you that you work. Here's your goal, complete the goal.
Yeah, you are basically a manager, right?
Basically a manager, right? So a lot of those employers are doing that right now. And like when we talk to them, we're like, hey, it's just like, maybe you should adjust your application to, the verbiage that you're using would match up with the verbiage that we're using coming out of the military. It's just, it better, being out, 15 years now, just seeing how the job market's completely opened up and looking at it, like, being a corpsman and stuff like that. A lot of corpsmen think, but you can correct me if I'm wrong, that I can be a nurse, I can be a doctor, I can be a PA. It's like,
Doesn't relate to anything.
doesn't really, but that's
I
what
was going to ask her that. That was going to be my next question.
It doesn't relate to anything.
How about like a nurse's aide, though? Would that be?
So I was a CNA before I joined the military.
Oh, okay.
So I was a certified nursing assistant prior to. I got that in high school.
Yep.
Went straight in the military. Corpsman relates to nothing when you get out. My husband served also. He retired a few years ago. He did 23 years. He was an independent duty corpsman. He went through a portion of medical school. In the military, he was a provider. He got to write prescriptions. He was many times on deployments, the highest medical care there was for the unit. He got out, it relates to nothing.
Isn't that terrible?
The only thing that it equivalent to was when he went through school, it was in California, if he would have opted to, he could have challenged the nursing exam there for the state. It wouldn't qualify him outside of California, but within California, he could have challenged that board and been a nurse in the state. But it's a lot more. He was able to do a lot more than a lot of nurses are allowed to do. You're doing minor surgeries, you're writing prescriptions.
I mean, as a client, I mean.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It just doesn't relate.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
The only thing it did for me was when I went to college, it gave me a whole lot of credits towards a healthcare management
Oh,
degree.
okay. See, I was trying to use mine later, but I've been out since '95. So it's like I want to try to use my, because I worked in nuclear power. They stuck me. I went to Brockton Public Schools. They stuck me working on fast attack submarines. I'm like, I went to Brockton Public Schools. That wasn't my curriculum back then. So, you know what I mean? So
that was an elective.
Exactly. So we had all non-nuclear guys and all nuke guys, and for them it was sure duty being overseas and C credit. So we would go over there, and they stuck you with these guys. They were all from the south. They were about 6'8", and they look down here. This is how it works. It teaches you the math, how it all works, all the basic stuff you need to be a RADCOM worker, right? I don't know what the heck I was doing again, but they would, I wanted to use those credits to try to grab something. I think about it now, like Lucy, you just met, she was an intern for me because when I started this, so our deal is, I started this in '07, became a nonprofit in 2014, and I would grab college kids and high school kids to put on a resume, I did sports radio or, TV and radio, and now she hasn't left. I don't know why, I guess, but I'm so happy to have her, and she's been doing this with me since, Lucy, when did you graduate college?
84.
84? No, BCC, I mean.
Oh, BCC.
Your last degree. 5 years, so she's been stuck with me for 5 years. And,
An angel.
oh, yeah, she is. Oh, yeah, she is. All the stuff that comes out of my mouth.
I've got a whole career.
She's like, I know where the dump button is.
Yeah, right? Oh, she does, too. Trust me. In the studio, she knows where it
All
is.
right, I'm jumping in.
All right, here, take my...
No, that's okay. Stay there.
Are you sure? I'm not... Want to try that on the mic?
Yeah,
All right, let me bring it up.
they all work. They all work. Hello?
Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Say it again.
Check 1, 2.
Not really. It's not
really?
working. No, it's not working. Try it again.
Check 1, 2.
Nope. So let me give you my headset, and you can talk to them.
All right.
And then I can go to the bathroom. Or at least get a
I
water.
think Haley just went to check to see if the food was ready.
Right? Here you go. Well, I'll see you guys soon.
Yeah, no worries, man.
This is great.
So we're good for the whole hour.
We are. So we've got 25?
We have, we're gonna go by, yeah, we got 35 minutes.
Okay. Wow.
Hi. So my name is Lucy. I co-host this show with Dominic, and I'm a Navy brat. So my dad was a chef of the Admiral in the U.S. Navy for like 25 years, retired, and went on to teach culinary at Johnson & Wales.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and, followed around the Admiral everywhere. My mom was a nurse. Mom passed away just around 2.5 months ago.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
She was an OR nurse, thank you. And they both eloped from the Philippines.
Okay.
She finished up her studies at Columbia University in New York, and Dad was stationed in Virginia, in Norfolk, Virginia. Was always at sea. He was on the USS Puget Sound, I remember, up in Washington. And so, in traveling all over the place, he came back on leave, and I was born in Jersey City.
I'm sorry.
And I have two younger brothers. One was also born in New Jersey. And then he got restationed to Newport, Rhode Island.
Okay.
And from there, started his career at J&W after the War College down there. And I got married 1986. Went to school in Tiverton. We all grew up in Tiverton, Rhode Island. After high school, I went on to music school, Berklee College of Music in Boston, for piano and voice. At the time, my parents, we ran a family-owned kitchen, I guess you can call it, at the Fall River Country Club. For like 8 or 9 years. That's what got me through college. And it was the whole family, so my 2 younger brothers, and ran the kitchen there. It was great. It was absolutely wonderful. Dad passed away while teaching culinary at J&W. He was a Garmin J chef there for another 15 years. Yeah, he passed away 15 years ago.
Award.
Yeah.
I watch a lot of cooking
crazy.
shows.
Did you really?
And I like food, so.
So growing up, it was very, very interesting. When we came home on leave, it was like, you control the kitchen, and Mom controlled the other side of the kitchen, which was all the ethnic food, all the Filipino food. It was very interesting. So needless to say, our whole career was into cooking and moving and growing up in an atmosphere of constant change. That's a good word.
Yeah.
So new friends, and then after high school, after college, through music, I always wanted to be on the radio. That was my thing. I wanted to be the next Hazel May. Dad and I used to watch Boston Red Sox games. I'd call play-by-play, all that good stuff. And so when he passed, it was like, now what am I going to do? You know, after music school, So I went back to college and BCC. I was going to JNW. I was a graphic artist. I didn't want to be the starving musician. I was gigging out a lot in the Boston area and in Newport, a real lot. Wow, after that, it was like, okay, now what am I going to do? I got married while I was a graphic artist for a company called Princess House, which is a top crystal company in Dighton, I think it is, in Dighton. And they kind of moved their operations to California not too long ago. So that's when I went back to school. I did not want to go to California, and it was just way too expensive. So my career has been in music and in graphic arts, and with people. Always with people, which is great. And so started a family, got married while I was going to school at night at Johnson & Wales to get a PR, communications degree. And then lived in Rhode Island for almost 30 years. I have two sons, two young sons. They're not young anymore. Actually, one's in California. He's 33, and my other one is 31, married and living in Rhode Island. I went back to BCC, Bristol Community College, for 1 year. Became interested in media and thought, this is my way in. So growing up, actually, always in the music business and through having a family and everything, when the kids were little, I used to go down to the ball field and sing the national anthem before all their games, call the kids up to the plate. I figured that was my way in. And I thought, this is a lot of fun. And so going to BCC, I got a communications degree in communications for 1 year, became interested in radio, in media, in TV, then started singing the national anthem at military funerals when my dad died, and quite an honor. I still do it today. I do one every other week. So Bourne Cemetery there, and the Vet Cemetery in Exeter, Rhode Island, it's quite an honor. Number one. Number two, always into honoring people, being with people. So that's kind of inbred in me. Now the kids have moved away. My husband was in the Air Force, stationed up in South Dakota for like 4 years, and then got out.
My uncle was there for that. My uncle was retired out of the Air Force as a major. Now he coaches the Air Force hockey team.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so he hated Minot.
Well, he hated South Dakota also.
Mind the fact that out of his 20 years in the Air Force, I think 14 or 15 were spent coaching the Air Force hockey team in some way, shape, or form. Yeah, so I'm like, even with him, he was just, he's like, so he had to go to Minot, and then he had to go to England for like 9 months. And then it was funny because when I left Afghanistan, he was sent over to Kyrgyzstan, and he was teaching pilots. And he's like, he's like, the hotel, just the room service. I'm like, whoa, back up. I'm like, bro, I lived out of my Humvee for five plus months, right? And you're worried about your Samsonite luggage and your tea not being hot enough coming to your. Yeah, so I give him a hard time. So I'm like, that's why I tell people, we talk about military, experiences may vary. It's like that subtext that you see on the asterisk.
Yes.
His definitely was so I get the whole Air Force thing. That's
it's
awesome,
interesting, to say the least. He was a guy on the tarmac, bringing in the planes. And did it in South Dakota, for 4 years. Then got out and had various jobs up until now. Actually, he just got laid off and found another job at Blount. But I think during all those years, military did something to him. And I don't know what it is, because he's had since we've been married. We've been married 32 years. Various jobs, and either because of one reason or another, they let him go. I can't figure out what that is.
Yeah.
So he starts a new job on Monday over at Blount Fine Foods over in Fall River.
Okay.
And I don't know. I was thinking about your home program,
Yep.
and I'm like, maybe he could benefit from this.
Yeah, and like I said, like you just go to homebase.org, and there's it's called Connect to Care. It's like a giant red button. It's like, we're all about clicks. It's like, 3 or 4 clicks. Just name, phone number, and email, and it has like a little comment section, and it can just be like stress, anxiety. You don't have to be verbose, and what that does is it generates a list of people that our team can call. Like, hey, I heard you had some interest in our home base program. Like, what do you know about it? I don't know much. Like, well, we're going to tell you. You know, and then, it's a conversation, and from there we just start we call it the intake process. It's like 20 minutes to half an hour, just depending on how much conversation's going on. And it's just background and demographics, like, where you live, what branch, if you got deployed. Deployments aren't required or anything like that. We try to get as much information, and then maybe what they did in the military, so that way when our social worker or a clinician gives them a call, they just have a little bit more information. Like, hey, Bobby, what do you do? It's like, oh, I see you're in the Air Force and you were a chef. Whatever the case is. So it kind of breaks that down, and then we get them a medical record number if they're not with MGB or Mass General Brigham, and that's usually 10 minutes or so, doing the registration process, and then and they're like, hey, we're going to pass your information off to our team, and then someone will reach out to that individual, like I said, either a social worker or a clinician, and they'll do usually it's like a 45-minute conversation where they get a little bit more information. They kind of get a little in depth. We'll ask them, like, hey, what brings you in? Calls us, like, I'm having nightmares. I'm like, all right, cool. That social worker clinician will be able to say, all right, what about your nightmares? They kind of dig into it a little bit better. So, that's what they're there for. We just don't get that. We don't want to put ourselves in that situation where the individual, to worry about that. So we're able to talk them through it. But at the same time, they have all our contact information, so they're able to, like, hey, if they have any questions, they'll text us, call us, email us, and be like, hey, give us 24 hours to respond, depending on when you're shooting us a call or a text or whatnot. So we're always that point of contact. So we're always that, that buffer zone between, the head people, if you will.
Sure.
Right. And then usually, and then after that, after they talk to the social worker or whoever, usually they get sent electronic forms for signatures. So we get their medical record sent to us, and usually that's where a lot of the time it comes in, because it can take a little while. But like I said, with the VA, we have a good relationship with them. We actually have a VA person on staff with us that's able to help mitigate and get those records in a whole lot faster and stuff like that. And then from there, like, hey, if you're looking at outpatient, we'll get you in on it. We'll get you face to face, screen to screen, if you will. Or if you come in for that 2-week program, we'll get you set up. And like I said, we run 42 out of the 52 weeks a year. And they're like, hey, we have an opening in 6 weeks. That work with you?
Interesting.
And it's really that quick. And then we do have family, while they're in there, the one piece I didn't talk about, which I always forget sometimes, is that we do have a family component to it. So during those 2 days in that 2-week program, we're actually, so in this case, if it was your husband that came into our program, they have 2 full days of what we call psychoeducation, if you will. What post-traumatic stress is and what it looks like. What traumatic brain injury is and what it looks like and what it can look like, and then just
Developing a shared language.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that way, because it doesn't matter. Even the radio industry, you guys use acronyms and words and verbiage.
Right.
Normal person. Same thing in the military. Obviously, we have all those ASAP and all those different acronyms and stuff like that. So by the time say if your husband went through, so 2 weeks later, you guys would be able to come home with that common language, you understand what they're talking about. Or if for me and my wife, I'm like, hey, I need 20 minutes, and she's like, okay. She doesn't have to know what she's like. That's our that's our code word for I need 20 minutes to kind of take myself away from what we're talking about or what we're not talking about, if you will, and I'll come back and I'm like, all right, we're good to talk. Yeah, we're good to talk. Or you know what, I need another 20. And it builds that common language, and it helps. But it also does help you connect know that you are not the only person going through this situation. Yeah, it's like almost like a shared experience. So that way, the others. It may not be another female. It could be another support system. It could be other support people. Their brothers, their uncles, and whatnot. And be like, hey, you know what? Oh, I feel a little bit better now. I feel kind of like vindicated, if you will, the fact that you're not the only person going through it. And that's the whole thing. Like, that's a big message, is that we're all in this together. And it just as much as the military person serves, that family serves just as hard, if not harder. You know, our jobs are easy when we go overseas. You know, we have to do our things over there, but
Right.
being at home life, it's lunches, you know, it's the whole plethora of things that go on back home
Oh, yeah.
with that. So
Oh, yeah, definitely. And you talked about, I heard a little bit about healthcare and that kind of thing. How about in job training and looking for employment? How about housing?
housing, home-based personally, home-based program, we don't do that, but we make connections with other programs that do, that we vetted, that we
So
have.
there's always a resource.
There's
We
always,
have a resource specialist.
Yes.
So once you're assigned like a case manager, so you do that initial intake, then you're assigned a social worker that would be your case manager that can help find resources within the community, within area. Like Ryan said, with the 2-week program, we see people from all over the world. When we send them home, they have a plan when they go home. They have their next appointment with the provider there. We have a resource specialist that works with what insurance they do or do not have to find them resources within their communities. So whether it's local here or it's in California or Florida or overseas, they're looking for resources within that area. So we're not just sending someone home, right? While our program is, the 2-week program is about 2 years of therapy, we know it doesn't fix everything, right? It's not the end.
Right.
It's just progress in your story. And so we always want to set everyone up for success. So we have a lot of allies within the resources and throughout the world. And so our resource specialists would work with, vets with housing issues, with, job hunting, with all sorts of different programs and resources. I think Ryan mentioned too that while we are not part of the VA, we do have a good working relationship with the VA here. We have a VA rep that works directly with us and is able to assist veterans all over the country with, their comp and pen stuff for their disabilities, for resources, for going back to school and things like that, which really just kind of helps the entire family, right? We're just setting
absolutely.
everyone up for success that way.
Absolutely.
and the vet centers especially too. So we've had the president of the vet center, the president and CEO of the nationally come into our office, and he's like, "What do you need from us, and what can we do for you?" So we're like, shaking hands, making sure those connections are made, so that way, if it's because we realize that a lot of people in rural areas throughout the United States and stuff like that, there may be a vet center that they can talk to. A lot of the programs that we introduce them to, like fitness and like Tai Chi and yoga and art therapy, they're like, I've never done this before, but I really like it. Can I go do this back at home? And so, like Jess said, our resource specialist is like, yeah, let me find it. We can, and it, if it's not free, it's at low cost, or if it costs more, like here's your choices. And the good thing about our program is which is key, is that we follow up with them. We do 30, 60, 90, 180, and 360. We follow up through a year out, and it's that individual's responsibility to answer the phone, answer the email, answer the text, whatever communication that they decide on. So we're making sure we're not just, Jess said, it's like, hey, thanks, here's your T-shirt and your pat on the back, good job. No, we're, I still, like I said, I've been there for 5 years. I still talk to people from 5 years ago. I've had family come through the programming. I've had my good childhood friends, best friends, come through the program. It just, it's like word of mouth, and the fact that, someone's been through it. They're like, hey, I need to reach out. I'm like, all right, what do you need? And we always tell them, like, if we don't have the answer right now, we'll find it for you. Just give us, just give us a little bit of leeway on that. And so, we work with other community, other partners out there, other organizations that are able to find those resources for them and work with them. But the big thing is, like, hey, you guys have to put in the effort too.
Well, yeah, it's a two-way street.
It's a two-way street. So
So I have a question. Can you guys hear me?
yes.
I figured out the mics. Let's
Oh,
try this one.
good.
And I didn't start a fire.
Two good things.
Can you guys hear me on this one?
No.
I can still hear you, but not through the microphone.
But you can hear me on this one.
Absolutely.
All right, test complete. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Want to join back in? How much time do we have?
About 20 minutes.
1:43.
Or according to the counter, it says 140. That's what I was going off.
I'm getting hungry. You guys getting hungry?
I've been hungry since the moment I woke up.
Do you want to stay there?
Huh?
You want to stay?
You can jump in,
Okay.
and I can go to the bathroom.
All right.
Are you guys okay?
Yeah, I haven't drank any water in a while, so.
I know, right? It's funny you said that. I got up this morning, and of course I stretched, and I didn't have that much water. My calf tightened up. I said, oh, the pain, the pain. I'm not drinking that much, not much water. But the good thing about this, so what we're going to do is with this show, we are going to show it off the different access towns like we always do. I believe they can still hold on to it, actually. Hopefully they can still hold on to it back at the station. And then we'll just replay it on our Facebook page and stuff like that. I mean, we're such a small thing what we do, but I love doing this, is just having to find the right funding to how to figure it out. You know, I can brag about to you guys, complete strangers, what I love to do. But if I was as a salesman, I'd hand you a new set, and this is the analogy I always use. I'd have a brand new set of car keys, and I would hand it to you guys. Each one I'd drop and end up in the sewer. That's how typical salesman I am. You know what I mean?
So effective, you're saying?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, it's terrible. But someday, maybe I'm hoping someday something like this. You see all these other different avenues that try to highlight high school youth sports. I think we do a decent job of what we do. You know, try to reach as far as we can to the South Shore. But now, did you guys play any high school sports?
I did a lot.
You did a lot?
Yeah, I did soccer, baseball, wrestling, gymnastics, martial arts. There's not much.
What high school did you go to?
Weymouth High.
Oh, you were a Wildcat.
I still am. Oh, wait, yeah, mascot, yeah.
Now, what high school did you go to?
I didn't grow up in Massachusetts.
Oh, you didn't?
I did not.
So she has a real education.
True.
I grew up in New Hampshire. My husband is from Mass.
And what high school was he from?
Braintree.
Oh, so he was a Womp.
He was.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, how did you guys met in the service?
We did, yeah. We were stationed together. When I came back from Italy, I got stationed at the nuke base up in New Hampshire.
Oh, wow. You said the nuke base?
Yeah, the sub nuke base up there.
Oh, the sub-nuke base. Okay. Well,
It's really secret at this point. Well, I only knows about the submarine Navy guy over here.
Yeah, it's funny. The only places I remember they used to have prototype school in New York for guys that made it through nuke propulsion in Florida. Now, where did you go to Orlando, Florida for basic training?
I did not. It had already closed.
Already close, you went to Great Mistakes?
I did.
Right.
I lived there for a long time.
Did you? Well, your A school was there too?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
My husband, like I said, we had been a corpsman. Also, he went to Orlando and then San Diego for Corps School.
Oh, okay.
When I joined, they were in the process of closing the San Diego school. So I actually had to wait 3 extra weeks. I was supposed to go in November 4th, and I had to wait till the 24th. So, like, 2 days before Thanksgiving.
Right. She knew the dates too. Because notice how she knew the dates. Oh, yeah.
Well, no, because I was supposed to leave 31 years to the day after my dad had joined. So my dad had my dad was a Vietnam vet, so he was really big on the fact that I was leaving to the day after he had.
Cool.
And so that's why I know the date. But I went in 2 days before Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
That was wonderful.
I
Chicago.
was in boot camp all through Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's.
I was too, yeah.
Right. What about C school? Did you have a C school there? No.
Nope.
She went from, so we basically were there when I was a striker, so I didn't have no MOS, I guess that's what they call it, right? And I started as a fireman because I wanted to learn about engineering and different things like that, and then I became a machinist mate, learned about little turbines, but they threw me in that nuclear power thing, and I was like, how's this going to help me, you know, really?
It's good for radio, you never know.
Yeah, right. Right. So E4 was not that bad. They had, and then E5 was tough because, all our stuff was academics, and I needed that. I needed to use because I could go off in a hey, look, a squirrel, that would be me, but that was a good thing about the Navy, which I really liked.
Did you see squirrels in submarines?
What's that? No, just as far as concentration, I was kind of sitting there like,
what the hell's a squirrel in a submarine?
Yeah, it was fun. It was good. That was good. And then I got everything on my dream sheet. Everything I put on my dream sheet, I got.
Nice.
I got nothing.
Nothing?
Nope.
Oh, I don't know what it was.
In Italy at 19, just turned 19 years old, and my first ambulance run, I was looking for someone's head on the side of the road.
Really?
So
Wow.
I worked in the ER over there for a while.
Oh my God, the stuff you must have saw.
It was unique.
I got what I wanted.
You did? You got exactly what you
All these
wanted?
people getting
Yeah, well, I had to
water.
beat out 160 people to get my LLS.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because we couldn't be colorblind, and we had to identify every armored vehicle in the entire world.
Seriously?
Yep.
Wow, that takes a lot of practice, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, well, because you have to be able to identify it by sight and then by thermal imaging.
Oh, jeez.
So you had to, so you weren't shooting at your own armored vehicles.
Yeah, no kidding.
Because like I said, we could take out any armored threat up to almost 3,750 meters.
Wow, that's a good distance.
2.5 miles, give or take.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, that's why I say when people are like, oh, because my call sign was preacher because I was a pastor and everything, and they're like, oh, did you mean to join the Marines? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
Like I knew exactly what I was signing up for, so I got exactly what I expected.
Right. So
That's
listen, Haley, can you do me a favor? Can you grab Jose so we can try to get him down here?
Yeah.
A little bit on the radio, at least for the last 10 minutes or something. I mean, we're gonna end up taping this a little bit, a little bit. He's setting everything up. That guy don't stop, I'll tell you.
He never does.
Right? It's funny. I said, you lost a lot of weight. He said, yeah, I eat food over that.
He said he'll be down here in a minute.
Yeah.
He's doing stuff.
Oh, you know it's going to be 1 second? That's his way of saying half an hour.
Yeah.
So we'll probably have to, we got the radio by then, but we'll still tape it. I just got to.
I was going to say, too, anytime he wants to come down and talk, just let me know, and like I said, we'll make it happen.
Absolutely. And if you know anybody that wants to get any type of radio stuff, let us know.
I know a lot of people have faces for radio.
Yeah, I get the best face. That's why I'm turning to the side when I'm facing you. I mean, because we're on the camera.
Hey, if Felger and Maz can make it on the camera.
Oh my God! So that's one thing. It's funny you said that. That's one thing that inspires me to do this because, if you see those pro guys, they always. There's only one way to say it. They crap all over. Oh, you went to your high school game? Oh, yes. Yeah, I went to a high school. They belittle it, and that really gets me mad.
Yeah.
I really. I hate that. And hey, Felger and Maz, then you have the other guys on EEI, and they always mock the guys that do it. You had to start somewhere.
You start somewhere. It's like you're making fun of yourself. That's where you started before you came in here.
Right. Exactly. They're not the smartest apples on the tree. Neither am I, but I know where I started, and I love to do it. And I get the pleasure of meeting nice people like you for a great cause and stuff like that, and get a chance through you guys maybe to show off what we do more. Hey, I was on that. You're on what? No, I got a cut and everything. I had a cut. Him up.
I did this, I swear.
Yeah, right. Oh, that's funny. That's funny, but I can't believe the day they got to get this thing going.
Yeah, no.
Beautiful.
Me and Jess were just talking before we came in, and we're like, it's actually really nice out.
Yeah.
It's a lot cooler in the sun, cooler in the shade than it is out in the sun. We're like, what are you wearing? I'm like, I'm just wearing a t-shirt and my vest.
Yeah, right. Now, do you guys golf at all?
I do. Yeah.
He does.
You do?
Yeah, I belong to the TPC Boston.
Oh, good. Are you a good golfer?
I can hold my own.
You can.
No, the short version is I have a lifetime membership there.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I'm
Nice.
one of two veterans. My friend Greg Reynolds, who's a Army vet, who's also a left arm amputee. We were both awarded lifetime memberships to TPC Boston, so I have my own locker, and
Nice.
I caddied for Nick Watney back in 2013 at the Pro-Am that was up here for the Deutsche Bank.
Oh, wow.
And then we're still good friends, became good friends, and he's like, hey, I'm going to pass your information off to Birdies for the Brave and the PGA Tour. So
That's cool.
I got called a couple months later, like, hey, you can start playing down there if you want. I'm like, okay. Had no idea what I was getting into. I'm like, it's just really funny because, well, you see my giant beard and stuff like that. I walk in there and they're like, I'm not the blue collar, I'm not the white collar outlaw that you associate with all those private clubs.
They kind of blackballed you.
They kind of like, what's going on? But yeah, no, they flew me all the way down, myself and my wife down to the Players Championship, and then that's when they announced that I had a lifetime membership to the TPC Boston, which is awesome. So I'm able to get down there at next to nothing, pretty much, and go play golf.
That is so cool. That is so cool. This must be another friend coming at you right here.
This is my husband.
Oh,
That's the better half, but really the better half is sitting next to me.
That's the better half?
This is the 23-year retired Navy right there. I was talking about.
Well, he was at Coleman too?
He was at IDC.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, careful. Next thing you know, you'll be sitting here with Mike on you.
I was just going to say.
Well, we got roughly 7 minutes left.
Yeah, 7
6 minutes. No, actually, I'm sorry, actually 5, because we got to get it back to the station. And what we'll do is we'll come back on, we'll tape the rest of the interview with Jose and Manny, and hopefully nobody will be, how do they used to say in Italian, obrigado?
Obrigado.
Yeah, drunk. Huh?
Portuguese? So yeah, that's Portuguese.
Oh, it's Portuguese.
I was like, obrigado? I was like, He's really smart too for doing it.
I'm trying to think how they should say it in Italian. That's funny.
The only Italian I know, no, I'm just kidding. I was thinking of Family Guy. He's like, hey, bippity boppity. And I'm like, no, that's not.
That's pretty good.
Don't make that on radio.
That's too funny.
Yeah.
Oh, too funny. Yeah, well, thank you. Again, thanks, guys. It was really
Thanks
nice
for having us.
Oh, absolutely. So, yeah, do us a favor, spread the word. We're not as big as home base, but we're trying to be.
Yeah, we started off small too. Started out one clinic, and then we just moved into a new clinic about 3 years ago, right at the One Constitution War. So we have like the best views in the city because second floor you're overlooking the harbor. Yeah, like you said, you have the Constitution.
That's pretty
Fun
cool.
fact about the Constitution: every morning at 08, that cannon goes off, whether you like it or not.
Doesn't it go off? It goes off at sunrise too, sunset too.
Sunset.
I mean,
the only reason why it doesn't go off before 8 o'clock is Charlestown has the noise ordinance.
Oh, they do?
Yeah, so they're only allowed to go off at 08.
08's when it...
That's pretty much when the Navy wakes up anyway, right? Yeah.
I wish I could say that.
Get home back. But then, we still laugh about it because it goes down at sundown, and during the summertime it's great because we're usually out of the office and out of the parking lot by that point. There's been many a time when that cannon's going off with me and Jess in the parking lot, and we're both looking at each other from the underside of our vehicles because we forget it's going off. It scares the crap.
It is loud.
Initiation with the boats, they put us right under the cannon, right at sunset.
Oh yeah, that's loud too. Yeah.
As we're on the boat.
That's funny.
So it's all good stuff, though. But yeah, no, I appreciate the opportunity to sit down here and talk. Wasn't expecting it, but glad we did it. And like I said, however we can help you. And
Absolutely. Anything can help because it's basically her and I. And we also, one of the things we
so
also...
mainly she's doing all the work.
Basically.
Hello, this is Manny Del Carmen from the 2007 World Series champion Boston Red Sox.
World champs again.
A sports analyst for NESN. Along with my best friend Jose Diaz, we grew up in the city of Boston, a city that we truly love. Jose and I have always talked about giving back to the youth within our city. Therefore, we created the Boston Athletic Academy to move our passion to action. Our goal is to develop future student athletes of Boston by providing a safe location to offer educational and athletic needs. We are taking the next steps and looking forward for your support to reach our goal. Please visit thebostonathleticacademy.org for more information. Let's make a difference because success has no boundaries.
Dominic Damiano still here at the 8th hole. Now I have the pleasure of being joined by my good friend Manny Del Carmen, ex-World Series champion and joint executive officer of the Boston Athletic Academy. See that I said that right?
I know, I'm surprised, but yeah.
So is this outcome better than the one we had last year as far as people?
Well, obviously throughout the years, year one,
Yeah.
it was our first year, we had to figure stuff out. Now that we're in year 4, 30 foursomes today, we got like hole-in-one sponsor a car, obviously the people, today's, September 11th is a tough day, tragic day for our country and stuff, but, people still came out to support. But for the most part, we're still learning as we go.
Yeah.
But beautiful day today.
Absolutely.
We can't complain about the weather and the turnout. We got 38 foursomes, and it's definitely helping the BAA.
I know we like to bust each other's chops. We haven't seen each
A
other
little
in a
bit.
while. A little bit. You did a great job with that intro at the mic. I actually got that on B-roll. You did a great job.
Well, the thing is, I had a speech which I had planned all week.
On your phone, I saw.
But I forgot to actually put it in my phone. So this morning I woke up and I'm like, oh my god, my speech. So I finally get it down.
Yeah.
And then, you know, obviously people were registering kind of late today, so we kind of had to speed things up. And then as I'm reading, I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to wing it.
Right.
But as long as, you know, just reminded everybody that today, you know, all the families that were affected, you know, first responders that we have today, you know, I got, you know, family that's first responders. So it's definitely a good turnout. Had to honor them. And, you know, I'm just glad everybody was here today.
Absolutely. Manny Del Carmen, joint executive officer.
You want me to do your job? Because
no.
He's like stuttering. You hear? He's supposed to be on his game. He's like stuttering.
I'm always on my game, but he always messes with me. All right, we'll be back with more interviews as we cover the Boston Athletic Academy golf tournament here live at Ritter's golf.
No, Audrey. Cut that.
Well, all right, we'll be ready. Ritter's Farm Golf Course, right? Ritter's Farm Golf Course, is that what they call it?
4D Sports, Manny Del Carmen, and Dom, because he's stuttering over here. I don't get it. I don't know what's going on.
I gotta start drinking. All right. See you.
I gotta stop drinking. Hello, this is Manny Del Carmen from the 2007 World Series champion Boston Red Sox.
World champs again.
Sports analyst for NESN. Along with my best friend Jose Diaz, we grew up in the city of Boston, a city that we truly love. Jose and I have always talked about giving back to the youth within our city. Therefore, we created the Boston Athletic Academy to move our passion to action. Our goal is to develop future student athletes of Boston by providing a safe location to offer educational and athletic needs. We are taking the next steps and looking forward for your support to reach our goal. Please visit the BostonAthleticAcademy.org for more information. Let's make a difference because success has no boundaries.
Welcome to Physical Therapy U. I'm Kelly Duggan, Doctor of Physical Therapy and the owner of PTU Clinic. Here at PTU, you're more than a patient and we're more than physical therapy. We offer massage, physical therapy, occupational therapy, personal training, and sport-specific performance training. We treat people and athletes of all ages and all levels of experience. Our beautiful 4,500 square foot facility located at 75 Scotland Boulevard in Bridgewater, Mass. is unlike any clinic you've seen. Our large space, along with our new COVID guidelines, allow us to treat you in the safest way. Your success in meeting your goals is our top priority. Whether you're recovering from a surgery or you're elevating your performance, we are the right clinic for you. Call us at 508-697-2000 or email us at ptuclinic@gmail.com. Check out our website at www.ptuclinic.com.
Yeah, I've been here since I started. They're good buddies of mine now, so I've always been here.
How do you know Manny and those guys?
Played softball with Jose and Manny, Edwin, Javi, all the boys. Probably probably about 10 years before they started the tournament.
This is the third one, I think. Something like that. The third tournament.
Softball and golf. Yeah, this is their fourth, I believe. Nice. I think this is their fourth. Maybe three. No, here, every year. It's awesome.
Well, it's nice to meet you, sir.
You as well.
Everybody, now we're back at the 7th hole. We got rid of the dead weight Manny Del Carmen. Now we have the real brother Eddie.
How's it going, guys?
And so what hole did you? I'm sorry. What hole did you start with?
We started on 18.
Oh, you started 18.
Yep.
Oh, so you're almost halfway through, right?
We're almost there. Almost there.
How's your team doing?
We're good. We're doing good. We're even right now. So.
A lot of white out on those cards, or what?
Couple questionable calls today. But we're doing good. We're hanging in there.
Beautiful day.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
It's amazing. You can't ask for anything better.
Yeah, and you work for?
Canistrar.
Canistrar. You guys do what again?
Mechanical contracting, so HVAC, plumbing, and fire protection, life safety systems.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, I'll let you go. I know you're getting busy. It was good to see you again.
Pleasure.
All right.
Thank you for having me. Thanks,
Eddie
guys.
Del Carmen, the real big brother of the Del Carmen family.
Younger.
Yeah, I know, but you know, there's a maturity thing there.
I know.
I had to pick on him. He picked on me all day, just on that 8th hole. He was trying to show up in front of the Hooter girls.
No, you gotta give him as much as you can, because he sure gives it out himself. So.
We'll be back with more right after this.
Thank you, guys.
Hi, this is Megan Chase of Jack Conway Real Estate. Jack Conway has been providing top quality real estate professionalism since 1956. I take personal pride to ensure that my clients are happy with the services I provide. It is my job to make sure that you are fully involved and fully informed and have all the information to make the right real estate decisions for you and your family. Please feel free to reach out to me. I would love to be a resource for you. I can be reached at 774-240-7707 or via email at mchase@jackconway.com. I'm always happy to assist you with your real estate needs.
16th hole, and I just tied up and had him sit in the seat, and I think I got a good weight on the manager of the Blue Sox. Coach, 16 times straight winning that
Yeah, 16 times, but who's counting? Actually, we are.
Yeah, right.
We've won 6 in a row,
Yeah.
16 in total, and next season is 2022. We're shooting for 17 already.
Wow. How many teams in the league? And how's that all?
Approximately 8. We had it varies anywhere from 7 to 9, but approximately 8 is a good number.
Now, how far is your reach? How far do the teams come? Where do the teams come from?
Greater Boston.
Okay.
Lexington, Somerville, Melrose, Medford, Reading, communities in and around Greater Boston, within 128.
All right. So it's within no more than probably 20.
Half an hour,
Yeah,
half an hour, 35 minutes in
That's
traffic, maybe.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but every town or city team is distinct, and everybody plays for their own individual bragging rights or team bragging rights, as do we.
Yeah.
We think we do something well. We've always described our program as being something more than just a baseball team that plays in the summer. It's an organization, it's a brotherhood, and if you look at folks like Manny Del Carmen, still plays baseball, still loves the game.
Yep.
He plays for us, and he's awesome as a human being. He's outstanding as a player,
Yep.
and he's tremendous as a role model and mentor for younger players. And that goes for the likes of Josue Feliciano, lifelong friends with Manny, Jose Diaz, Macho Diaz.
Yep.
We have a good group of veteran players who really show the younger players, literally and figuratively, how to put the uniform on and how to approach and play the game. And that's kind of the key, mixing veterans who still can play and play well
Yep.
with younger guys who want to learn and are inspired to learn from veteran players like the Mannies. Ryan O'Rourke, who also was one of our pitchers and pitched in the big leagues for the Twins and the Mets, is another role model. And we have a lot of great former collegians, Pat McGowan, a pitcher from Holy Cross, Alec Boydick, a catcher from Holy Cross, and the list goes on and on.
Yeah.
Morgan Brown, who's right over here,
Yep.
is a shortstop, played at Harvard, played independent pro ball, played in the Cape Cod League, and just an accomplished human being, number one,
Yep.
and a tremendous mentor, role model, and player himself.
Coach, what does the Boston Athletic Academy mean to you when you think about
Well,
it?
I was asked by Manny and Jose Diaz to get involved, and my wife and I both are big believers in what they are doing for inner city youth, not just from a baseball perspective, but it's a combination of baseball, academic support, college guidance, and the more that we as human beings can do in that realm to lift the boats of all people, irrespective of race, creed, or color,
Yep.
is a great thing. And Manny and Jose and all those involved, in fact, the foursome in front of us, Michael Walsh and
Yep.
Ryan Walsh, are colleagues of mine in the work environment, and we're thrilled to be involved and to help where we can with building the program. But this is clearly something that is near and dear to Manny and Jose's hearts. And how can you not get involved where the future of kids, both athletically and academically, is concerned? It's a no-brainer. It's
Right.
something that people like me want to do.
All right, Coach, it was great to see you again.
Okay, good to see you guys.
Good luck. Don't embarrass them out there.
I won't.
Take
Exactly.
care.
Maybe I'll have to defer. I won't hit you. There you go.
Hi, Bob Sweeney with Diesel Direct. As we get ready to do, as you get ready, what are you on? This is 6, right? Are you on 6? Is that what you're on? I don't know. But anyway, let's talk about the Boston Athletic Academy. What was the biggest thing for you to make you take a beautiful Saturday and come out here and support this cause?
Because of the cause. I think that the meaning behind the whole event was to allow younger generations, let's say, don't have as much as the fortunate ones do, and it's certainly a place they can go as an outlet and enjoy themselves with their friends, and I'm all part of that, and that's why we're here.
Absolutely.
Okay.
All right, Bob, thanks, buddy. Good to see
All
you.
right, good to see you,
I'll see
bud.
you around soon.
Absolutely.
Take care. We'll be back with more right after this. Welcome back. We are at the 17th hole, and we are with the team, the 4 Deep Sports Talk team, representing, of course, 4 Deep Sports Talk here at the Boston Athletic Academy. I've heard bad news that they're so-so on the scoring card, but we still. You guys almost done? What hole did you guys start?
Halfway.
Oh, you're halfway. Oh, you have more than enough time to make it up. Yeah, see? So we should be pretty good. So what do you, this is your first year going, right, Farron?
Yes.
What do you think of the course?
Nice. Very nice. Good shape.
Good shape?
Yep.
And you guys were with us last year, right?
You bet.
And what do you think of coming into this one? You think we can make it? I'm halfway through. Think
We'll
we have
make
a
a
shot?
run. We'll make a run.
Yeah?
Just getting warmed up.
Just getting warmed up. All right, so you heard it right here first on the 17th hole, 4 Deep Sports Talk golf team, getting warmed up on, getting ready to tee off on hole 17. I'm sorry. One more crew ahead of us, and we'll catch you with more interviews right after this.
All right, everybody, welcome back to Ritter's Farm Golf Course here in East Bridgewater, Massachusetts, as we continue our continuous coverage of the Boston Athletic Academy. I'm very happy to be joined by a very good friend I haven't seen in a long, long time.
Hey, man.
God took him this way, God took me that way, and we're back together right now.
Back at it, man.
Right?
How you doing, man?
Good. How are you?
Man, I'm doing awesome, man. I'm doing awesome. Just living life, man, and trying to be a positive individual in the community and helping people and giving back. I just talked to Manny, man. We was I just met him. I mean, I knew who he was.
Yeah.
But I just met him, and we were just talking about getting together and doing some things, man.
He's just like you.
Yeah, good dude, man.
Oh,
He's
absolutely.
Cool. He's a cool guy.
That's what I mean.
You're right, man. He's a cool guy. I mean, I don't think I'm too cool, but, at the end of the day, it's all about giving back, man. And like I've been doing and helping kids and giving them an opportunity to be great, man, and be successful in anything that they want to do, man. So that's why I'm here. My partner called me. He's like, man, we need somebody to fill in this golf tournament. I was like, man, I haven't golfed in about 4 or 5 months. He's like, come on, man, we got you. And I was like, all right.
That's funny.
I'm with it.
That's too funny. So are we still doing the
ASAP?
Thank you.
Yeah, ASAP motivation.
Thank you.
I'm still doing it collectively. I'm trying to, I'm in the process of trying to, change my diet plan. I'm down about 30 right now, trying to lose weight. And make a change and then bring that to the world. Health is wealth, and I'm trying to get my body right and change my eating habits and then bring that to the world. It's all about positivity and influencing people to be great, man.
Right.
And that's what I really want to do. You know what I mean? Influence these kids to live, be great. And just live to their highest potential. Because all of this, what we do, and in life, it leaves something. It's about leaving a legacy.
Right.
It's about leaving a legacy. You know what I'm saying? And influencing people and love individuals. You know what I mean?
Yep.
All this material stuff that we have, that really doesn't mean much.
Yeah, true. Very true. Yeah.
So, because we can't take that with us. It's this energy that we have while we're here to influence people, man. That's it.
So what do you got going on now besides ASAP motivation?
I got a clothing line called God Body also.
Nice.
I've been I'm not even gonna lie, I speak to people about don't be scared or don't be fearful, don't have fear of reaching your highest potential and living out your dreams and aspirations. And man, it's just a natural instinct sometimes for some people to be scared to just jump out there. So I'm gonna jump out there soon with my clothing, man. It's called God Body, and you might see somebody else with a God Body also, but it's a different brand. Mine is God Body. It's just life, living life as you are.
Nice.
We all have God in us. We all have that higher power, or whatever you may think of as that higher power that created us and that's in us, and he instills greatness, and it's all about jumping out there and living to your highest potential. That's it. That's what God Body means.
I love it. I always loved the way you come across. I miss talking to you.
Man, you know
what I mean?
Brother. You know it, brother.
And when I saw you there, I felt like I hit the. I said, "That's my buddy Antron."
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's me.
I said, "Where'd he come from?" And then put two. I actually added with my Brockton
my Brockton Public Schools. You must know Manny or Jose or jumped on a foursome. So it's good that you came out.
Yeah, I know Jose. Jose went to school with one of my friends, Mr. Victor Lewis, and they brought me out here, and I joined their squad, they foursome.
Yeah.
And it came out here and had a good time, man. About the 14th hole, my back locked up, but, you know, it's all good. I mean, it's just, you know, golf, 18 holes, man.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's tough whether you're riding, walking, driving, running. It's a lot of steps. It's going to be a lot of steps, right? Eventually, your back going to not want to do it. You know, but,
true.
You know, everything started going left at the end, man. But we had a good time, man. It was fun. And get to come out here, and I met this young man, Manny, man, and I look forward to getting involved with some stuff that he's doing. Right now, I'm doing cognitive behavioral therapy. I work for the Madison Park, BPS, Boston Public Schools. I'm out there doing BAM. I work for a company called BAM. It's called Becoming a Man. Mr. Sean Brown's the president of the company. I work at Madison Park, and it's just like cognitive behavioral therapy. I'm helping kids once again. I'm a mentor. I'm a youth specialist.
Yeah, you love that stuff.
Oh, man, I love it. I'm a youth specialist, and so I go and mentor kids, hold therapy meetings. Man, it's awesome. If you ever get the opportunity to check it out, man, whomever's listening, check out BAM, Becoming a Man. We're in Boston. They got one in D.C., and they got one in Dallas.
Yeah.
It started in Chicago. They're moving to Atlanta.
Yeah.
And we got one that just opened up in London.
Really?
Barack Obama he really influenced. He came out of Chicago, and he really influenced, you know, the people to get behind Becoming a Man. And it's helping out kids right now. I mean, knowing that this COVID, man.
Yeah, I know.
This COVID has changed a lot of people's lives, and these kids more than anything need to be influenced and helped at this time, because this COVID's messed up a lot of people, even adults.
I got sick. I was sick for 3.5 weeks.
Right. Even not even about just getting sick, but just, you know what I'm saying, the trauma of being in a house or being away from, you know, your school, your friends for a whole year and a half, man.
Yeah, that's nuts.
And just, you know, keeping you on, you know, I'm talking about on a real strict, you know, lockdown.
Yeah.
In the house, you know, that'll mess kids up, man. And like I said, if I went to school at this time, I don't know if I could have made it on Zoom, because that's what they were doing, Zoom, man. So, but you know, these kids made it. Some kids made it, and you know, they still fighting, and we need to help them keep fighting. Went and did a graduation in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. I spoke at a commencement, high school commencement, and you know, it was amazing, man. You know, just to see how many kids were motivated and still positive after something like that. So that's what BAM does. We go in and we help these kids understand their highest potential. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, man.
So you're going back and forth from Tennessee here, back and forth?
I was supposed to do a motivational speaking thing the 17th in Tennessee for a high school called Blackman, but I don't think I'm gonna be able to make it. I'm just trying to build my brand right now. God willing, if anybody looking for an up and coming motivational speaker, life coach to speak, man, I'm all for it. My fees aren't that high. You know, I mean, eventually, hopefully, God willing, you know, I could ask for, you know, a big budget or but man, I've been doing this for 3.5 years now, man. 3.5, 4 years, motivational speaking.
It's gonna come.
So, you know, if you out there, my name is Antron Peebles, ASAP Motivation. That's my company. BAM, that's who I work for, and you know, we're a company that's giving it back.
Wait a minute, you're the Antron Peoples that won the national championship in Tennessee?
Yeah, man.
I thought I saw you on TV.
You're crazy, man. Yeah, that's me. I'm getting a little old, man. That's kind of in the past, but you know, it's on my resume. It's on my resume. It's on my resume, man. Right. We're not doing too well today, man. We get beat by Pittsburgh, but man, we need to step it up. But God willing, it'll happen. We'll get back. Yeah. We'll get back to the glory days. But yeah, man, I had the opportunity to do a lot of things and work out for some teams and play for a great University of Tennessee team back in the late 90s.
Right. He's Antron Peoples. I'm Dominic Damiano, national champion, national football champion, and the principal owner of ASAP Motivation. We'll be back with more interviews right after this.
My man.
Hello, this is Manny Del Carmen from the 2007 World Series champion Boston Red Sox. A sports analyst for NESN. Along with my best friend Jose Diaz, we grew up in the city of Boston, a city that we truly love. Jose and I have always talked about giving back to the youth within our city. Therefore, we created the Boston Athletic Academy to move our passion to action. Our goal is to develop future student athletes of Boston by providing a safe location to offer educational and athletic needs. We are taking the next steps and looking forward for your support to reach our goal. Please visit the bostonathleticacademy.org for more information. Let's make a difference because success has no boundaries.
You like that? That's how I do my play.
I like it.
All right, finally, as we wrap up today, I'm Dominic Damiano, joined by one of the executive officers of the Boston Athletic Academy, my good friend Jose Diaz. I'm so glad you guys went outside and did it, because in that room, nothing against that place, it's a nice place, but it was too crowded, brother. It was really too crowded.
Yeah, the weather was fantastic, nice little breeze here. I think the vibe, just being on a driving range and just having the golf course around you, I think everyone enjoyed it and loved it. So, yeah, I loved it.
Right. So how do we do for numbers?
Great. So we had 38 foursomes, which is the maximum that we can have foursome-wise, team-wise. They wanted really us to stop at 36, but we went 2 over. And everyone had a good time. It flowed pretty good.
I think this flowed better than the last time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So last year, due to COVID, only 25 teams, so 38 this year. So that's a big push and jump. And we loved it. We loved every second of it. And, like you said, everything was flowing.
Well, it's good to see you guys. And here we go. All right, so let's get him on that mic right there. Come here now. Oh, my MG. All right. Yeah, so
why even get more drunk?
All right, so this is gonna look so good, Access TV.
Not drunk, tipsy for the kiddos.
There you go.
Is on?
It is on. You're good. So, what do you think, boss? You like the outcome of today, or what?
Yeah, I mean, I think we felt like we were overwhelmed a little bit at the beginning, but I mean, obviously the support from the people that see our vision, for the last couple of years has been great. I mean, 4D Sports, yourself, have been great. I mean, the guys leave with a smile on their face. I mean, our kids were here. Beautiful day here at Ritter, so it's we can't complain too much, but No
dirty mask. I don't worry about wearing a dirty mask like you busted my chops.
Oh, no. Last year was, you couldn't even hear anyone talk. They were
He had Ricky Slamman, talking, great about the BPS. I love you, Rick, but, it's just 2021, not 2020, so we're good.
Yeah, that was perfect.
Oh, my God. Why me? Oh, you have no idea how much I miss you. You have no idea.
I miss you, too. I mean, apparently you still go over there, so,
I got
you don't miss me that much.
It takes, where are you going? Nowhere, right?
That is true.
Right? For now.
You're right.
For now, right? So we went over. That was cool. Again, I thought this whole venue went smooth.
Yes.
Beyond smooth.
Yeah.
People knew what they were doing. I'm on this hole. I'm this. Blah blah blah. This is where we're meeting. You had people handing out refreshments, so no one got dehydrated or no one got. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm dehydrated right now.
But in different way. Not that way.
Oh man.
Oh my God. You know what? You guys are two great guys. And one of the reasons why I do it, I don't do it because I do it for one reason. I consider you guys friends. I hardly ever see you guys, but when we do hang out and I get a chance, my company has a chance to be part of this cause, as small as we are from what we do, it's our privilege to come out and help you guys out as much as we can,
Yeah. No, I believe that both of us are doing amazing things. I love what you're doing with 4D. I'm always a fan of trying to help the kids get that communication and going to college and getting that head start. That's pretty much what we're trying to do, right? We're essentially doing baseball plus education. You're giving students and the youth out there an opportunity to really do some communication work, which is big. So this goes hand in hand, Dom.
Yeah, true.
And I think that this is always a good time and a good time, good time. So.
All right, now it's time for breaking news. What do we got coming up next?
So you can,
I mean, right now it's I'm hoping
in the next couple of weeks, we had a demo company see our building, what we're trying to do in Reedville, High Park area, still part of the inner city, which is come in, knock down a few walls, move some stuff around, and literally, like, I'm hoping, praying that in the next 3 to 4 weeks, we drop the nets down and we actually have the inner city kids in our gym working out before the winter months come, and go from there. Our location, you know, it's like I said, it's Reedville. It has classrooms and all that stuff. We're kind of holding off on that until we see the number of kids that actually come in, which I think is going to be a lot. But as we go, we expand, and then we do the academic side of baseball. But for the most part, I'm hoping in the next couple of weeks to be the demolition for our building, and we're in there.
Awesome. And we're starting a 12U 50-70 team.
Nice.
So, you know, we're always looking for players, you know, and we're excited. Again, we just want to give back. We want to really educate and teach the youth. You know, baseball is a big passion of both of ours, and that's just what we love. So at the end of the day, anything that we can give, you know, pass forward is exactly what we want to do. So
I know a good umpiring crew. I know a good umpire association. You need the umpires.
I haven't seen you umpire, but I'm pretty sure it's probably not that good. But I mean, the association is probably really good.
But
knowing you, I'm gonna see how that goes.
Oh my God, my brother.
No, but honestly, dude, like, you kind of, since we met you, you've been supportive.
I love it.
I mean, 4D Sports. We've gone on to your show. I've gone on a few times. Like, it's awesome. I mean, we really, really appreciate it because, like, people really talk about what we're trying to do and is actually taking action in it. And, like, today really shows off what we're really trying to do.
Yep.
I mean, we expected a lot of people, but not the outcome that we had today. So it's
you probably could have a hell of a lot more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A hell of a lot more.
Don't get me wrong. It's all about location and stuff like that. He's really, you know, this course is beautiful. Gina and Janelle from Ritter's have been awesome.
Amazing.
I think they'll kill me if I ever decide to leave Ritter.
Yeah.
But I think we're going to be here for a long time.
So this ain't too far off topic. So have you already reached out to the superintendent of schools in Boston and tell them, hey, this is us, this is what we want to do?
So we've had some conversation in the city, but, you know, again, we're really just trying to establish ourselves a little bit and then start making more partnerships. But yeah, no, we reached out to BPS. We've talked to them, Boston Athletics, the athletic department there as well. You know, I used to, as an admissions counselor, I used to do a lot of admissions work with students from the city area. So, you know, we do have our hand already in, but we really just want to focus on the building and the education and getting the classroom so that we can really work with the students.
Absolutely.
All right, start with the students.
Yeah, but on top of that, like BPS, we've sat with the president. Like, we know the situation when it comes to high school baseball. Like, when we played, almost every high school was competitive. They reached out to us, even a couple of schools that didn't have teams, like, how can we start up a baseball team? But right now, it's the focus on trying to get the kids in the winter, staying off the streets, staying with that same group, like a YMCA type deal.
Right.
And have them just being around the same group of kids that want the same goals. So that being said, like, the BPS, like, they know what we're trying to do. I think we can really help high school baseball get competitive again if we open this place, because we can actually work out these kids in high school before they start practicing for their high school season and get them together and acclimated with their teammates. And it's kind of hard. I mean, we had 2 weeks to get ready for a season in high school. Luckily, we knew each other from summer ball.
Yeah.
I made sure all of our friends went to West Roxbury High. Other than that, some schools didn't have that. So if we can actually work out with these kids in the winter and actually work together before their season, like in April or whatever it is, it's going to be way better. So the superintendent, like the BPS, they know what we're trying to do. We're in their ear, and they better watch out because we're definitly coming.
We are.
Guys, thanks for having us. Good job, like always. Even this guy did a good job. Even though I saw him missing the ball over here, but I only took 2 pitches.
That was after the third. Maybe I get there. Stay in school. Stay in school.
So you know, last thing we want to say is obviously today's a big day in our history, our country. So we want to just say thank you for everyone to actually showing out. Any first responders, military vets, we appreciate everything you guys do for us. You know, today was a great day. We had a good group. We had a lot of police officers, fire department, firemen. We had a good amount of vets as well. So this is for you guys, and we really thank you. And we'll always remember.
Yeah, when we give another big shout out, when you guys were finishing up, we actually did 2 hours on the radio. So we had the privilege of talking to Ryan and Jessica from Home Plate. And they
home base, not plate.
Did I say plate? I meant base. They look like a plate.
This is what I have to deal with, people.
So they were on there, and they were just they were telling me stuff I already knew about the whole cause with the Boston Athletic Academy, and they couldn't be more appreciative that you guys put them in. And they talked about how you always talk to the vets and stuff like that, and that's a tribute to you and both of you guys. So this is really going. This is really. I mean, I think it's going to get a lot bigger.
Yes.
Within right down the line. I mean, it was bigger before, but everything is just growing. There's no going back now.
That is true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but right now, as long as it keeps growing and people see what we're trying to do.
Yep.
And like I said, anybody that sees our vision and what we're definitely trying to do with the inner city, and like yourself and anybody, it's just a plus for us. So it's as long as everybody understands what we're trying to do and do it the right way and help these kids, and it's all about the vision and opportunity for these kids in the city, and that's what me and him. I mean, the city gave us so much, and we just want to give a little bit back.
Big shout out to Jim Jones from WARA 1320. He let us stand for an extra hour and stay here live at Ritter's Golf Course. For Luce Cabral, I'm Dominic Damiano, Manny Del Carmen, Jose Diaz. We will catch you next time. Everyone have a fantastic weekend.
Enjoy your weekend.
Today's 4 Deep Sports Talk show is supported by PTU Clinic. Visit ptuclinic.com. Adria's Restaurant and Banquet Facility of East Bridgewater. For more information, their website is adriasrestaurant.net. And the Boston Athletic Academy at bostonathleticacademy.org.
This has been a presentation of 4 Deep Sports Talk, where high school and youth athletics come first.